think we are live. Yeah, we're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm just a Star Wars nerd. Welcome to the first of hopefully Hunter. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, go right ahead.
I guess we'll go in top-down order.
Let's start with Mike.
I'm Mike. I love Star Wars.
All right, I am Star Wars Idiot. I make Star Wars What Ifs on YouTube. My name's Shane.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Ike. I'm also Kenobi's Corner on YouTube.
I'm Morgan, also known as the Blue Bounty Hunter, or DBBH, and make pretty cool videos too.
All right. Ike, did you share who you are?
Yeah, you went.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. My computer's just really bad then. Anyway, so you did? Okay, perfect. All right, let's begin with the first question. 100 younglings or one Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith? I'll start this off. The younglings are going to absolutely destroy Anakin, and here's why. As strong as Anakin may be, there are 100 younglings. I don't care if you're Kiadi-Mundi, Ulpa Rancisis, or Yoda. 100 younglings is very powerful. They all have the Force, and if they have lightsabers, you're going to get kebabbed easily. So, Anakin, yes, he has the Youngling Slayer 6000. But you want to the younglings have? They have the high ground because they're going to be standing on top of each other. Anakin, he's strong. He has the potential of the Chosen One. But those younglings, man, they have the energy of sugar-dosed demons. So, my opinion, it's not even a competition. Anakin, he'll hold up a fight. He'll take down 20, 30 of them easy. But then there's going to be that one, that one strong youngling that's going to get the upper hand on him, and he's going to lose. What are your thoughts on this, Mike? Who do you think wins?
I mean, it's sheer numbers. It's 100 versus 1, so there's no real chance Anakin has here. I mean, like you said. I mean, he might take down a few of them, but they start working together. He can't protect all angles, and it's 100 versus 1. Like 100 anything versus Anakin Skywalker, he's probably gonna lose. But I guess that's my take.
Man, I was leaning towards Anakin, but the more you guys explained it, the more I'm just looking at it like, man, I don't see Anakin winning that. Like, even with his agileness and his abilities, like, it's 100 of them. Like, those kids are gonna go ham on Anakin.
If it was getting out of hand when there was 2 of them, it's getting a lot out of hand when there's 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I full-heartedly agree with both of those statements. I see the younglings just destroying him, and I don't even think it's close.
Okay, well, hear me out. When General Grievous fought Obi-Wan, right? General Grievous had 4 lightsabers when Obi-Wan only had 1. So if we're applying that logic here, then Anakin could also beat the younglings.
But that's 4 versus 1 and 100 versus 1.
Okay, I know it's a little bit more,
Yeah.
but hear me out. This is the Chosen One. Okay, this is also Nightfall Vader, the most powerful character, arguably, at this time. So with that in mind, I think it is very close, and I could easily see it going in favor of the younglings. But I also think Anakin could just, use the Force and crush half of them, and then Force choke the other half. I mean, think about how weak they are compared to him. I don't know. I just, if he could take on 12 of them in one room, or what was there, 12, 20, and that was, nothing at all.
Give or take.
Then, who's to say that there being 100, he couldn't do that as well?
The only way I could possibly see Anakin winning something like that is like element of surprise, or if they didn't know
Yeah.
that they were going to be attacked, like how they were in Revenge of the Sith. Like they trusted Anakin at that point. They didn't expect him to attack them.
Yeah, if it's like one at a time, then I could definitely see Anakin winning. But if they're all ganging up together and all have lightsabers, because those kids didn't even have lightsabers in that room, did they? But and going back to your argument, Obi-Wan beats General Grievous with 4 lightsabers, but Obi-Wan also beats Anakin. So maybe the question should be, would Obi-Wan beat 100 younglings?
Yeah, I never even thought about it that way.
Oh, you guys want to get into that discussion?
Obi-Wan,
Ooh,
if he has the high ground,
who
it's
would
not
win,
even
Obi-Wan
close.
versus 100 younglings.
Yeah, one thing we're not
Yeah,
really thinking about
he has the
is
high ground,
what
he
if
won't
the
But if they're on the even ground,
what if the younglings had sand with them? Then that's like,
Yeah, location is a big deal too. If it's on
Mhm.
Tatooine, it's all over.
yeah,
But would Tatooine give Anakin more of an advantage because it would make him more mad?
that is true.
Oh.
If he was a Sith, he would fuel off of that and
Possibly.
utterly destroy them. So there you go.
no, the sand.
That's all right.
Or would he think about his like mom too much there? Like, would that keep him grounded?
Or would it make him even more mad?
Yeah.
Good point.
I still have 100 younglings.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
I
a
agree.
good predicament we're in.
My final
Yeah.
answer is that it all
Well, I
depends
guess
on
if
how much
that's
sand
the
is
case, then
involved.
who would win? One.
Yeah, Ty, I don't mean to be
Who would
this
win then?
person, but
One
you're
Yoda
lagging
or Darth
behind a
Vader?
bit.
That's a good question. How many Darth Vaders does it take to win?
How many
Dang it.
Anakins does it
Okay.
take to beat the 100?
How far behind am I?
Probably like 30 seconds. Nah, not that much. At least 10.
I don't know how far behind I am.
Yeah, it's probably about like 10-ish seconds.
Yeah, it's like either it's
Oh,
like 10
you're
seconds to
kidding
like
me.
5
Okay.
minutes,
That
somewhere
is
in that
weird.
range.
I don't think you've said a word yet, and the stream started 7 minutes ago. So
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna leave and join back on then.
okay.
Yeah.
Can he do that? Isn't he the host?
Mike, you're the new host.
What?
You're the new
Okay.
host.
Who would win?
I mean,
Yadi Mundi or the anger of the Star Wars fandom, him being in the Acolyte? Go.
Wow, that's an oddly specific question.
And the
Star
answer
Wars
is the
fandom.
anger of the Star Wars fandom
Yeah,
because
the
Acolyte
anger
got
of the-
canceled for season 2.
Yeah, I think so. I don't see Kiadi Mundi doing much with his big forehead.
Well, he's got 2 brains. Let's not forget.
And 2 hearts.
That's true. Yeah.
You know,
And
really-
a pretty fire beard too.
exactly.
What was your guys' opinion on Acolyte?
I loved it, or liked it. I won't say quite to the point of loved. It was a good show.
I didn't hate it. I didn't really love it, or really, I wouldn't say I liked it, but like I found value in it. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I wouldn't really want to watch it again personally.
Mhm.
But I definitely didn't hate it.
I absolutely loved it. The Acolyte to me had the opportunity to be one like a incredible show. Think about what they set up for season 2, and eventually, if it became season 3, season 4, and it turned into the new Acolyte is Palpatine, and then the new Acolyte is Maul, leading into Phantom Menace, like because technically Maul was the Acolyte at one point. Same with Palpatine. That would be insane. But I don't know if that was the route they're going to go down. And I guess we'll never know. But at least the Plagueis stuff. I want to see more Plagueis. That's all I want. Can a guy just get more Plagueis? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's fair.
It took 20 years for us to get him once, and we got him for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of it at all. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think I finished like a lot of the episodes. I wasn't a fan, I guess, in the way the story went. It just didn't feel correct to me, if that makes sense. But I understand if, like, obviously I understand how people enjoy the show and everything, but it's just not personally for me.
Yeah, I totally get that. See, that's a level-headed, great approach right there. See, that's what
Thank
I
you.
like. That's what I love to see.
Thank you.
It's the same thing coming off the backs of Andor. Like, it was a lot easier for season 1 to get a lot of crap because, it was sort of slow at some points, and it was a weekly release, so it was very slow in terms of being like 10 weeks being released, and it got a lot of crap for that.
Hmm.
Also, Tales of the Jedi came out during it, so it got even more crap because they were like, Tales of the Jedi is even better. But over time, when you rewatch Andor, it gets better and better, and people sort of figured that out. And then season 2 comes out, and we're like, oh my god, this is incredible. But you still have people calling it Andor, and they're like, oh, thank God this show is over, like crazy stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of season 1 of Andor. It definitely was slower. But season 2 picked it up so much for me. I'm a politics guy. I love politics in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I didn't know I needed.
Yeah. Well, the coolest thing too is I think it's been seen so many times throughout Star Wars, especially with its shows. The Clone Wars season 1, it's good. It's like all right.
Mhm.
It's got some good arcs here and there, but it's because of season 1 that season 2 is better, and then season 3 is great. Season 4 is peak. Season 5 is peak, and season 7, of course, becomes what it is. So you need those early on seasons. So that's why Andor season 2 is so much better, because without season 1, it's nothing. I think the same can be said about Rebels, because so much of Rebels season 1 is just filler beyond belief, because you're just learning these characters, and then season 2, 3, 4 are just the payoff of all that. Then you got stuff like Mando too. Mando season 1 is great, but season 2 is even better. And that's the same argument that I have with The Acolyte. Like The Acolyte season 1, I thought was really good. Even if you don't think it's really good, well, look at the history of season 1s. Usually season 2s are better. So, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I also never.
For sure.
I also never looked at it from that perspective. Like, it's kind of known in the Star Wars community that the first seasons are always kind of, I don't want to say mid, but they're not as high quality as later on.
Yeah,
you know?
they got to set up the story and set up the characters. I think the Bad Batch is the perfect example because you're just figuring out who those characters are. Omega specifically, who's the main character, pretty much. Like you've never met her before, so you got to figure out who this character is and why you need an emotional attachment to her, so that when things happen, you actually care. Yeah.
I will say, watching Andor season 1, like I'm rewatching it again. Watching it after season 2 makes it a whole lot better. Because like on your first watch, the first few episodes are like really slow, like you said. But when you're like rewatching it with all the context of like where it's gonna go, and once you've kind of like fallen in love with all the characters, it makes the beginning of that season a lot better, I will say, on rewatch.
When you know who the characters are, you already are looking forward to it more. Like when you first watch Andor, you're like, who the hell is Bix? I don't care. Who's Brazo? I don't care. Who's this kid? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And you're like, this is a show about Cassian Andor, who honestly, I don't care. I saw him die in Rogue One. Like, what's the deal? But then once you watch it all, you're like, okay, this is awesome. So let me go back and rewatch it. And you're like, okay, that was awesome.
Yeah.
He's got grown attachment to the character, and then it becomes even better.
I think we all can agree that BMO was always a fan favorite, though.
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah. And he got stranded.
Yeah.
Left behind. But honestly, it's better than him dying, so.
Yeah.
I agree. I was really wanting to see what they were going to do with his, like him not being continued in the show, and like later on, I was really nervous that they were going to kill him off, and I would not have been happy with that decision.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so fun playing in like those fields with the kids and everything in season 2. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect life for him.
And then we got K2SO to replace him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just throwing off ISB officers into the abyss of Coruscant.
Exactly.
Perfect way to introduce him.
What did you guys think of that theory going around that like BMO's core would have became K2SO when it was showing? Like, is that something you guys believed was possible?
That's kind of cool, actually. I don't know if I believe it, but I want to.
Well, at one point, I thought it could have been a possibility before season 2 came out, but then you just gotta like the two droids are very different. Like B2 doesn't have that sass and sarcasm that K2 has. They're very different personality wise.
It's like more empathetic.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Also, you guys hear me right now? I'm in, right? Everyone can hear me.
Yeah, yeah, you're in.
We got you.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay, I joined in on
Mike
my.
occupied everybody.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm back. I'm on my mom's computer, so hopefully everything is okay. Did I miss anything? Anything I should be aware of?
Well, we
Just-
talked about I don't know, Star
Okay.
Trek for a while.
I came in when you guys were talking about Andor, which
Yeah.
I love it. It was a great season. I love it.
Yeah.
So
Mike was a great host while you were gone.
yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I guess then what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna set up booklet so we can all like do the Star Wars test I was telling you all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, while I'm doing that,
I'm gonna join on my phone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna set it up real quick. So while we're waiting, what are your guys' thoughts on the new mall show? Like, what are your guys' theories on it?
I hope there's flashbacks to Savage Press because I love Savage.
I'd love that.
I'm mm, I'm a skeptic when it comes to like newer shows and everything. But I'm actually kind of excited for that one because I feel like out of any show, that's gonna show the grit and grime of the universe, which that's what I originally liked about Andor. Like it was dirty. It was something that you haven't really seen in Star Wars. Star Wars was always about hope, but not really that loss and how it took to get that hope, you know? So I feel like Maul, like whatever it's called, is gonna really show that and give the galaxy like its own new like feeling, you know, like it's not all hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a time period where we don't get much explored. Right after Order 66, all the way up until I guess Andor and Rebels. There's a few pieces of content in there with the Jedi games, Cal Kestis and Solo. Even Darth Maul's in Solo with this crazy cliffhanger of him getting Kira as his new apprentice on Dathomir. So all those gaps are going to be filled by this Maul series. The Underworld, Bounty Hunters, Darth Maul. I mean, it just sounds like a perfect storm. But Darth Talon is the biggest thing because if you set up Talon, you're not just going to set up a great legacy character or Legends character like that just to kill her off. So they're going to somehow have her escape Maul or leave Maul and maybe come up later on down the timeline, like maybe in the Mandoverse or maybe even beyond the sequel trilogy as a villain over there. But I very muchly look forward to that. Yeah, the Maul series is going to be great. The fact that the last three, or I guess the first three, if you don't count Resistance, multi-season Star Wars animated shows are the Clone Wars, Rebels, and Bad Batch, and they're all just like incredible. I got very high hopes for this show because it's the same creators. It's the same guys who did Rebels and Bad Batch and Clone Wars. So
I think it's gonna be awesome. Personally, I'm very excited for the Mall show. My biggest hope is that it's around 4 seasons and that it's not like it's called the Mall show, but it's like actually the Darth Talon show. That would be cool. But I want a show dedicated to Maul, you know. I don't want him sidelined by some new character. I want a show where I see Maul, I see him in his glory, and I want to know how he ends up on Malachor and why the Inquisitors view him as the Shadow. I want to see that. That's what I came here to see. So
yeah, and that's like
go ahead.
No, yeah, and that's like over 15 years of storytelling. Like that's a long time. So I think Talon will be maybe a main character of season 1, but I don't think she'll be sticking around much longer. So I don't think I don't think she's going to take over the show or anything like that. Because by the time of Solo, he takes Kira on as his apprentice. So Talon's gone by that point.
Very true. But here's another thing that we might want to think about. What if this is all setting up Darth Krait's empire? Like, what if he's being brought in eventually? Because Darth Talon, in Legends at least, she is like very prominent in Krait's empire with the rule of one, where there can only be one master and everybody else is his apprentice. What if they're trying to set up that? Like, we know they're setting up Thrawn's trilogy. What if they're trying to like revamp all of Star Wars in the Legends timeline? That would be a major shift. When you think about it, that's kind of what they're doing. We see Thrawn now. We're getting Abeloth most likely, and we're seeing all these Legends things being brought into the Star Wars canon. So, like Darth Talon, prime example. So, I personally think that they might maybe have some reference to Darth Krayt or something about his empire. because they already brought in the Rakuten Empire. So I feel like it's the natural next step of things to do, which would be so cool if it was.
It would be really cool because when you look at it, it's so much of the content moving forward is Mandoverse and then post sequels. You got the Rey movie, you got Starfighter, you got this Simon Kinberg trilogy. All that's supposed to be post sequel trilogy. So you need some bad guys there. Palpatine's gone. You need somebody else, whether it's Abeloth, whether it's Talon, or whether it's Talon working with or working for, I guess, Darth Krayt and his empire. That would be insane. They could easily set that up too, because we've seen the origin story for Darth Krayt, and he's Asherad Het. He's a Tusken Raider Jedi, and he fights Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you can do a Kenobi season 2 that sets up Darth Krayt. You can do a Maul series that sets up Darth Talon. Both characters disappear into the unknown regions, come back years and years later with their own Sith Empire that they just built up over the years. While Palpatine was just struggling to do his thing, they were like, yeah, we're just going to do our own thing over here. And then expose themselves as soon as Palpatine leaves and try to just gain this huge empire. Like, that would be awesome. And they could set it up all the way back here in the Skywalker saga so it feels more interconnected. When you see Het, or I guess Krayt now, and you see Talon, you're reminded of Maul and Kenobi and all those other characters.
I see. That would be really interesting to see, because that's always been a personal theory of mine. As we know, like, when Krayt's empire fell, Darth Talon was probably one of the only survivors of it. In my headcanon at least, I always envisioned she went into the unknown regions or even out of the galaxy to form a new empire. Obviously, she was never that strong of a Sith. She was powerful, but nothing to the likes of Darth Vader, Darth Krayt, or Palpatine. So in my headcanon, she went into the unknown regions and started her own Sith empire, which was very weak. It had a very poor foundation. But over the centuries, it just learned to grow stronger and stronger and stronger. Then one day, they attacked the main galaxy again to defeat the new Jedi Order. That's always been like something I would love to see, just because it makes sense. It would be very cool.
It would be. I mean, the cool part about that too would be that it's post sequels, because everybody's like, oh, I don't want to see a Rey movie. I don't like the character, whatever. If it's a ton of Jedi versus a ton of Sith in the movie for the first time in live action, like that would just be incredible.
I would love to see like more than just 5 Jedi fighting at a time. I want to see a lot of Jedi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that you brought up Kenobi, Mike, because I was always wondering like how they would like make a season 2, because like they already had their battle with Vader, like they can't really have another one.
Yeah.
You know, so who would the main bad guy be? Like, you don't want to bring Inquisitors there.
No.
Like, that doesn't make sense, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that's actually a really, really valid theory.
Yeah, there's got to be a plot for a season 2.
Yeah.
And the only thing would be him learning to become a Force Ghost. And then the only villain could be Krayt. And that's about it. Because they can't do Vader versus Obi-Wan part 2. Like, they can't just keep doing that.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. What are your thoughts on this, Morgan? What do you like to see?
I don't know. Like, that would be really sick if we got to see that as like a movie. I feel like with Krayt, and that would be really cool if they like set it up across a bunch of different shows, because right now it does feel very random as far as their direction. At least to me personally, with all the different characters and different places, which is fine, because that's kind of the some of the charm of Star Wars, is you can really have any kind of story you want at any time with any character. But it would be cool if they kind of did more like how Marvel does, where they like set up things and have a overarching sort of goal that they're trying to build up to.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. So I'd love to see that. I think the thing I would love the most is if they could just get more competent writers, like with Andor. At least me personally, I think some of the shows that they put out recently feel like they don't have like as much sort of urgency as Andor did, and that's obviously a subjective thing, but I just really like with Andor how urgent and important everything does, and how they just build up the characters and everything. I don't know. I wish if they could get some of those people like Tony Gilroy to work on the future projects, I think I would like that a lot.
I think the thing with Andor is that everything that they did was a risk. And I think that's what got us so deep into it. Like, it's like a spy drama in a way, you know, like every single thing they did could lead back and screw everything up. And I think that's what made Andor so special to a lot of us, because it was like, if really one thing went wrong, the rebellion wouldn't have won, you know, in what we were watching.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so massive to a lot of viewers. I think that they notice, but it just goes right over their head, you know?
Yeah, a lot of the things too is the stakes of things, because in Andor anybody could die pretty much at any moment, because other than Cassian and a few others, I guess Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera, but most of the characters in the show, they're up for grabs. Like, they could go at any moment. And I feel like with a lot of other Star Wars projects, especially like Kenobi, you know that none of those characters can die. Like, there's no risk really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about, like, with it being a spy thriller, how that already gives it more stakes than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, it always ties back to the original Star Wars. Like, it's still that first movie. You're trying to get to how that happened, how they got the Death Star plans, how the rebellion came to be on Yavin. Like, that's, and everybody loves this original trilogy of course so much, and this enhances it instead of making it worse or just being a spin-off of it or whatever. It enhances the original trilogy, which is hard to do.
Yeah, true. It'd be so cool if we could get, like, projects similar to Rogue One or Andor that, like, sort of, like you said, enhance the movies, but maybe for, like, Empire or Return of the Jedi, or I'd even love it with some of the prequels too, like maybe a live action Clone Wars movie similar to Rogue One. That'd be really cool, I feel like.
Yeah.
But obviously be hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had to let me know. He has to leave. So thank you so much for hopping on, Ike.
Bye, guys. This was fun.
Yeah, hope you can join the chat. Say hi now and again.
I will be in the chat, but I just have to go. I have something I have to do. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me on, Ty. I'll be on off and on to watch the rest of the stream.
Hi.
All right.
See ya.
Bye, Ike.
So
All right, with him gone, another one leaves. All right, well, hopefully he'll still be on, watching.
Just like Andor season 2, no one's safe. Who's gonna go next?
Actually,
yeah.
you know what I would love to see though in Star Wars that we really have never seen? A horror show or movie. Something where it's like I know Star Wars is made for like kids and all that, but I feel like with Andor, that was a really adult show. It was dark, gritty, had themes that like the Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones would never have dreamed of showing, besides maybe the Youngling Massacre, which was justified. But like, I want a horror movie. Like, yeah, the Youngling Massacre was justified, but I want like a horror movie where things are like, it's scary. Like, there's jump scares, but it tells the tale of like probably the Blackwing virus, from the Death Troopers novel.
Yeah.
That was a good book. I would
have
to see that.
It would have to be something like that, though. It would have to be like a scary Sith Lord or something along those lines. Like, it couldn't just be your average Star Wars story, Yeah.
Yo, I have an idea though for that. What if since in case you guys don't know, I actually make short films right now. Because I'm like trying to go into filmmaking a little bit. So
Nice.
wouldn't it be sick if I made like a Ewok hunt? And I know there's already been one on YouTube, but like a 20-minute, 30-minute Ewok hunt short film. I feel like that'd be pretty
That would be
dope.
awesome. Every time I play Ewok Hunt, I turn off the lights and I crap my pants.
I mean, if you think about it, that's the scariest thing in Star Wars.
It
Like
might
that
be.
game mode.
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, I will say you compared it to Revenge of the Sith and how whatever you said about the younglings being
Justified.
Justified.
It was justified. Come on, man.
You still have like more, I wouldn't say adult things, but more things you wouldn't show to a kid. So I guess it's adult in those things. Like even with, Anakin burns alive on screen, and Dooku's head gets chopped off. But like even with the Clone Wars and stuff, like Maul's chopping people's heads off, stabbing Satine, like that wouldn't really show. Maybe if I had a kid, I probably wouldn't show them that until they're at least like 10 or a little bit older. But yeah, Star Wars has always sort of had that. Not, I guess, much in the original trilogy, but the prequels, I mean, Anakin burning alive is pretty.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But then again, I'm a huge horror dude. So a lot of my what ifs are like completely inspired by like Lovecraft, all like the horror genres. I love horror. So I may be biased in this, but
Yeah.
I would love to see a horror series. And it could be about anything. Personally, Ewok Hunt. I feel like that could get too scary though. We would definitely turn off a lot of the Star Wars fan base. Because I've played it. I have had nightmares consistently for most of my life. But yeah, that like just seeing the stormtroopers alone on Endor, seeing them deal with those demons would be so fun. Like I would pay money to watch that.
And I mean, it would change like a lot of people's views on Ewoks. Like, I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
watching like the movies and everything, they're like these like teddy bears that like barely can land a punch, but somehow take out like all this technologically advanced stuff. You know.
yeah.
But if we saw it in like a horror aspect, that would definitely change for a lot of people.
So
Like, I mean,
is
they
it
were literally about to eat like Luke and all of them. You know, like they're
Yep.
animals. You know.
they're scary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Scary. I guess with that said, do you guys want to do the book it with the audience? I mean, we don't have a lot of people on, but we could still get hopefully some people to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do it. I'm
Alright.
ready to cook everyone.
I'm so ready to
No,
lose
you are
this.
all going
A
down.
little bit of arrogance, I see. All right. Let me share the screen. I'm gonna
You
give
guys-
everybody about like 5 minutes, or not that long, but people time so they can have everything all ready. All right. Is my screen sharing right now? Y'all can see stuff?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, you guys can't see the thing. What game mode do you guys want to play? So there's quite a
Gold
bit.
Quest, bro.
Yeah, Gold Quest.
All right. Host. All right, it's gonna be on Gold Quest. Time. We got to give you guys some time. I know some of y'all are a little slow out there, like me. I'm a little slow-minded. Yeah. All right.
Hey, let me get my computer real quick. No, I'll do it on that.
I do it
Yeah.
on my phone right here.
I've never heard of a booklet. There was always Quizlet in my school. Not
This is
Bookit.
the high school experience right here now.
Yeah, Bookit is the high school experience. Okay, I
the
can
new-
confirm.
Yeah, it was always a Quizlet in my
Interesting.
school.
I'm gonna try to hop on my other computer. You know, the super slow one that did not work at all. You know what they say? if it doesn't
We
work
love
the
that
first
computer.
time- Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't work the first time, try it again. So, or that's the definition of insanity. I don't know.
I have zero confidence coming into this.
I mean, you know something about Star Wars. I'd say you know what you're doing.
I guess I know some.
It's kind of like it's not like it's your job or anything.
I know, right? I say I'm a guy who loves Star Wars, I'm not a guy who knows everything about Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. Let me join on now. Then I just realized I'm the only one not on. All right.
I am not on yet, by the way.
Oh, dang! We got 4 people on. So somebody on there is someone we don't know. Interesting.
I will lose.
Oh wow.
I love the confidence.
Yeah, so when I win, then it will be like, oh my god!
Oh my gosh, who could have saw that coming? All right, my nickname. I want this to be something nobody will ever know. It's me. Oh, here it is.
You should do like Ty or something.
Oh no. I know what I'm gonna do.
It's my birthday.
We'll call me. Oh, I just heard like the last end of that, and that like kind of scared me.
Yeah, I love how you just have that ready to go anytime anyone mentions the birthday at all.
I'm an industry plant, actually.
No one's ever gonna know who I am.
Youngling Slay.
Yeah, I couldn't
That's
say
horrible.
Young Slayer.
Not
Do
enough.
that, though. All right. So, perfect. I think with that should be everybody. And if anyone wants to join in later, that should also work too. So I guess
Let's do it.
let's start.
Right. Let's go.
Oh,
I am
no.
Watt Tambor, by the way.
Oh, you're going
Okay.
down. Just saying.
Is
I'm a
this
bit
a
of
timed
slower
thing?
starter.
Take gold from
Yeah,
others.
20 minutes. So all the rules are
Oh.
here. 24 minutes. Oh, I guess I changed it. Oh, well.
Oh, it said look up at the screen. I didn't even look at the screen. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. This is actually hard.
Wait. Oh,
This is-
no.
What? I don't know this.
Oh god,
Okay,
I'm gonna be terrible at this.
I'm just going to guess. I
I
don't
might
think
have
he's in
chosen,
that
like, a
scene.
super
He's
difficult
definitely not
one.
in that scene.
I might have
I
chosen.
got the first one right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Choose a chest. Oh, I just got 30 gold. You guys are going down.
Ooh,
Ooh,
100
100.
gold. I'm just saying, man. Dang it. Idiot's in front of me. All right.
Damn
all
it. Got the second
Oh.
one wrong.
right. All right.
How many questions are there?
I don't know.
It just-
no. It goes on forever.
Oh,
It goes on for 20 minutes.
Who's in front right now? Oh, sorry, idiot. Gotta take
I
something.
don't know any of this.
Why did
Like an idiot.
Obi-Wan and Yoda disappear just to kill themselves?
Palpatine's treachery. He reported that to, like, wasn't that Sly Tamor or something like that?
Oh, I knew that one.
Wait, Luke Skywalker had a dog? What?
I knew that one.
Oh, I always
I'm
get this
cooking
question
now.
wrong.
I'm doing pretty good,
Oh
not
my
gonna lie.
God.
I'm doing. Oh, what? I just lost 50% because I clicked on a freaking thing. Come on.
Wait, hold up. This isn't right. Never mind. Okay.
Obviously, the Battle of Jakku. Should I just start? Oh my God! I just lost 25%. I'm clicking the wrong barrels every time, or whatever. Chests, things, whatever.
Oh, I got nothing. It gave me nothing.
Better than taking away 50% of my loot.
Dang. Oh, hey, I'm in first. Who would have thought?
Aha! Let's go. Where am I at? Oh, I'm in 6th. That's great.
Jabba has a
down with
complete name?
Who's
Yo.
man?
Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, it's.
I was
Jabba
about to say,
the
it said how many of the original, how many movies did George Lucas direct? But it was 4, not 6.
Wow.
I
Thanks,
thought it was
Bud.
only.
Thanks, man.
Thanks
I
for
thought it
telling
was-
us the answer.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine. I'm gonna win anyway.
If I keep clicking the wrong chests, I'm not gonna win.
Dude, I just
I had no
Oh, wow.
idea.
What? What? Oh, okay, never mind. I get it. I read the question wrong.
Dang. Okay. Who was famous for its appearance with New Hope?
Oh, I just doubled my loot right there. I'm still in last. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no, just an update. I'm 3rd. Let's go.
Who was known as the chosen one? Obviously, that was Paulo the Lesser.
Duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. That's why I'm in first.
You sure about that?
Oh.
Well, there you go.
I don't know if you are.
Lost 50%.
Really?
These chests are killing me.
Yeah. Seeing that this.
I don't know. I'm doing pretty good, guys.
Oh, that's definitely Mon Mothma.
Oh, I just took 25. What does that mean? I just stole it from somebody? Oh, I'm stealing it right from you, Youngling Slayer.
No.
Happy birthday, Ty.
Oh, thank you. That's fine. I'll get my revenge on you guys.
Swap? Okay.
You're
don't
welcome,
mind if I
Star Wars
do.
idiot.
Thank you.
What? Come on, Watt.
Never mind. Bro, I gave you
No, I
2,000.
I'm cooking now.
What? Stop stealing gold from me.
Oh.
Damn it.
Dude, this is actually pretty good. I might, when I win this, we'll have to do this again.
Are you kidding me, Watt? Come on, man.
These are all so close. I think it's this one, though. Hang on. Haha. I knew it.
Eight
Triple my gold. That's what I like to see.
Dang, you guys have a lot of gold. I got like
I'm in
nothing.
first! Screenshot that!
Oh wow. Okay.
There's a lot more questions than I thought.
Just
I don't
relies
know
too
how
much
there
on
are.
clicking the right chest.
There's a lot of questions. I know that. I just don't know how many.
Wow. Morgan, was that you?
No.
Oops.
Hey guys, I'm gonna make a comeback. I promise that. I'm gonna make a comeback.
Oh, come on.
Hey, at least I'm not in last though.
What?
Yes, triple gold.
Yo, by the way, pro Blookit player tip here. You have to swap with the second place. That way, someone doesn't swap with you immediately.
I think you're just saying that.
That's some mind games right there.
No, but it's true though. Trust.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I can take 10%.
Damn.
Who's the unknown man?
That's the unknown man.
Oh, good choice. Okay. How many meals did Jabba consume a day? What? They know that? 9? Bro, what? I could barely eat 2.
Wait, what?
I don't like eating a lot of food. I'm not a hungry guy. Ooh.
What? Oh, I
Stop
thought for
stealing
sure
my-
I was right on that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That would obviously be Obi-Wan. What?
Oh, look at that goal.
okay. This is so subjective. Come on.
There's not the correct new
Okay.
name for the slave one on here, so I refuse to answer.
What?
It's not Boba Fett Starfighter.
Yeah.
Lose
I don't
25.
fucking know. Damn it.
New
Was this
Jedi.
made before like the sequels or something?
No, I got one right here. Sequel
It's-
question.
Yeah, this
Wait,
says who killed Palpatine? Yo, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Rey,
during which
obviously.
battle was the Emperor killed? Jakku, Scarif, Crater, Endor.
That would be Exegol, actually.
Exegol.
That's interesting. Huh, I guess they're just not speaking of the sequels. I can respect that.
What is the final scene of?
No, the sequel questions. I've gotten a couple.
okay, there's one on here that's just blatantly wrong. It says what's Grievous's flagship, and it should be Invisible Hand, but the answer was Soulless One.
Well, I think no, yeah, you're right. Or I can't defend that.
Who plays Chewbacca? Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I think
will be
that's
in
true.
Starfighter. That's who he's playing in Starfighter.
Oh,
Qui-Gon had returned.
Oh,
from death.
Lost half my gold for no reason.
What? Tam, why would you take gold from me of all people? Really?
What? Poe Dameron led the what? That's a lie.
they asked a Battlefront 2 story question. Like, how am I going to know that?
How
Well,
many
I guess
questions are in this thing?
True Star Wars friend, or it's true Star Wars nerd. I don't know.
Yeah,
Why I
you,
said
you would
that.
know.
Yeah, I
Come on.
would. I mean, aren't I in first?
Not for long. No, the unknown man is
Dude, who is the unknown man?
clearly somebody who's far better. 65,000?
How? Bro, 66? Okay, good number. What?
Oh, I'm swapping with him. I have 66,000. Let's go. Look at that. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, you just got fast. What the heck?
This game is flawed.
Stop. Oh
Ooh.
my gosh, I'm losing everything.
Triple my gold. Oh,
What
nobody
happens if
steal
you
my
want
gold.
something
Nobody can. No,
Whoa, that's
nobody
a
touch
little-
my gold.
That's a lot of gold you got there. I might have to take something.
Plus 10 gold. That doesn't do me any. Oh my God. Who's stealing all my gold?
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna play the patient game. I'm actually no, I'm not. Okay. Thanks. I'm down first.
Wow, that tried to trick us. What? I have 4,000? What happened?
You guys don't want to switch with me. I don't have a lot of money.
This is the worst game ever.
Who killed Jango Fett? Obviously, it was Yoda.
What was the diameter of the Death Star? How the hell am I supposed to know? I wasn't there.
You don't know the diameter of the Death Star? Wow. I mean, I'm not disappointed.
Oh my
but,
god, I
like,
got it right.
It's obviously just a small moon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like not even a space station, yo.
that's a battle
Oh,
station.
nothing. Thank you. Who kissed Leia first? Chewie, obviously.
What is the diameter? Oh, I remember watching a video about this.
It's actually her brother. Weird.
Yeah, no, those original movies are interesting to say the least.
Like, imagine that happened now. How much crap it would get.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Imagine that happened in the Acolyte.
Exactly. Imagine riots in the streets.
Yeah. Why can't Idiversio kill in battle? Wait, who can't? What? Oh,
There's your Battlefront 2 question.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
one I
no,
got wrong.
no, I got it right, but it was just the way they worded it. I was like, what?
Oh, so you got it right. Okay. I see
Yeah,
how it is.
right. Very easy. I mean, after I'm a really big Star Wars nerd, it was pretty easy.
The
Yoda's
only
not-
reason, the only
Yoda's
reason
number one. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say the only reason I know Chewbacca's father is because I did a what if with Chewbacca.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, I remember that.
It says what's Yoda's number one rule about being a Jedi? He must
Never
be bedtime by 8 p.m.
Sifo Diaz.
Must be this one, of course. I keep
You know,
clicking the
there's
nothing crates.
questions that are so easy, but then there's some where it's like you'd never guess them.
Why did they spell Ray wrong every time, but they know like everything about Star Wars?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's coming down to the spelling.
Yeah,
I
there's been
know.
a couple of them.
I got that one right.
Double gold, yay! I'm not bad anymore. Oh wait, I'm still not even in the top
Oh,
4.
I'm in first again. Let's go. Oh, what the hell? Who did that? Unknown man. This guy's the worst.
Dude, who is Unknown Man? Who is he?
Dude, is that Ike?
This
No,
is wrong.
it
It
can't
says,
be Ike.
wait, what? This is way wrong.
Nah. It's
It's calling Grogu Baby Yoda. I hate
Dude,
this.
the craziest question ever. Why do Obi-Wan and Yoda disappear
I saw
just to
that one.
kill themselves?
Yeah, that was wild.
okay though, but like seriously, who is the Unknown Man? That is my question.
He's the goat. Oh my god, he stole even more of my. I'm in second. Why you gotta do that?
Okay, this is ooh. I'm like getting all the chests are just giving me plus 10 gold or getting me like nothing.
There's a spelling error here.
What?
How many questions is this?
I don't know. I thought it'd be over. Okay, why he lost his like hand or something, right? Okay.
That is wrong. What?
What? Oh yeah, the holiday special. What
Oh.
is the rule of 2? There's no passion, there's serenity.
What?
Yeah, it's a pretty easy one. I don't know why you got that wrong. Ignore the voice crack, by the way.
It's okay, Morgan. What place are you in right now?
First,
Not in
definitely.
last.
Oh wow, I'm actually being in last. That suck.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What was the first line in spoken?
Oh my god, I just got like 4 straight wrong.
Oh my gosh, I can take 10% off of idiots now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Don't worry, I just got that from whoever was in first.
Hey, I'm still in last. And I lose 25%. I'm gonna.
What? Pan back up?
Oh, Silver with first. My one friend in chat.
Too good.
Silver Whiffer. Let me see.
Yeah.
My boys in. No. What was the original name for Star Wars? The Adventure. Yeah. Yeah. I know Star Wars, guys.
The Selenin Spur?
Whose sword did Obi-Wan use to kill Darth Maul? Obviously, a sword. Come on.
What?
On what planet did Han Solo accept Chewbacca as his partner?
Oh, I got that one. I got it right too.
Oh, I
Oh,
remember that.
Deveron.
Who's
Yes.
winning?
I knew that.
I am. Who killed Qui-Gon Jinn? They misspelled
That's
Dooku.
such a lie. It just said who was Luke's best friend, and it said Chewie.
What? No. His best friend was Wada. What?
I had to vote R2 for that, but of course that was wrong.
I did R2 too, and that was wrong.
Why was Jango Fett adopted and raised by Mandalorians? Because his parents lost him betting on a pod race? What?
Wow, that's crazy.
That is so sad. Oh, I remember this.
Who played Princess Leia? Angelina Jolie.
I did.
Wait, what? True or false? Did Luke Skywalker own a dog? Can I phone a friend?
You're not gonna get this right. You're not gonna get this one right.
So just pick what you don't think it is.
Yes.
Wait, what? It's
True.
True.
Yeah, I know.
What dog did Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
No, they're like throwing curveballs at us.
They're making stuff up, and I just lost 50%. Oh my
We're
god.
the only two characters to appear in every Star Wars movie, like Ahsoka. Duh.
Duh.
By the way, Ty, once this game is over, I probably have to head out.
No, not you, Morgan.
I know. It's a tragedy.
Dang. All right, guys.
Just like Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, true. I guess we have to make sure we answer everything really slow. Then I can. Do
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
true.
don't think this is ever going to end, honestly.
No, I think there's 7 minutes left, but like I thought that was just like the maximum amount of time, not the exact timer.
No, it is the literal time.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, double gold. Yo. Was the
Aw.
rebel pilot to strive? Sound like
Triple
Wagner
gold.
or something.
Wait, what? We're in the 1 millions now? What the hell's going on here?
We just got really rich.
What swamp-covered planet was the site of the Alliance's DVL-181 outpost?
It's the one that you like don't know, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Morgan.
that.
That's helpful.
No, like it's the planet that's like unfamiliar.
You know what? Just for that, I'm not going to take your gold.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
hmm
Wait, how am I in the bottom? What? You guys are what?
Damn.
I was
Yo,
like,
how many meals does Jabba consume per day?
At
I thought it was
least one.
23. I thought it was 20.
what did Princess Leia? This ship's a disaster. No, she did not say that. You know, I thought I knew a lot about Star Wars, but I guess I'm wrong.
I actually surprised myself in this. I know most of these.
Oh, well, that's good for you. I'm glad one of us can say that. Hey, I'm in 4th. What does AT stand for? All the amazing toucans.
Yeah, that one.
Just so you
Wow,
guys
you're
know,
looking
I haven't
up.
gotten a single question wrong.
Screenshot what you guys are about to see. Just
You haven't got one wrong? Are you serious?
No, I'm just
Oh.
I'm not. Yeah, that would have been cool though.
1 year, bro. What? What species is Jabba the Hutt? Pizza the Hutt. Dude, who is Unknown Man and how are they getting so rich?
I'm about to swap with them, so.
I'm like,
Tauntaun.
Luke Skywalker originally was heading to pick up power converters.
What
Yes.
does Luke Skywalker do when Rey hands him his first lightsaber?
I got
Tells
that
her to
while
keep it.
Do.
You
Lose
just
50%.
my
That's
gold.
fantastic.
Thanks, Wat Tambor, who created the dark saber.
Dude, I can't
Down the
believe
line.
Daniel Craig wasn't in Return of the Jedi.
I know.
He was in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, but like, I can't believe he wasn't a like infant in Return of the Jedi.
Wait, what? I just read. Oh, I should have read the whole thing. I just read Swamp Planet and I went Dagobah, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was the one with the weird name.
Oh, Ike is being a bully on the live stream now. He's saying I'm not even a true Star Wars nerd.
Time to ban him, I think. I think we
Yeah.
can all agree. It's
You know,
time to-
I am
Mike
in first.
left early. Like what? What? Come on.
I mean, I am
Yeah.
in first though. Okay, never mind. Never mind, guys. I got humbled real fast. Yeah. How many people are in this test, by the way?
At least 6.
I think like 66.
66. Oh, good number. Hey guys, I think I know who's in first now.
Just ended there.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I just got nothing back to back.
Why were they listing Jedi as a planet name? What?
Did anybody else know that Jabba had a full name?
No.
I kind of knew it. I didn't know the whole one.
I kind of thought like, Jabba was his name.
I know.
I thought
Ooh,
it was Ezra. I thought that was Jabba. I'm kind of confused.
Take 25%. Bro, what is Unknown Man doing? What?
He's crazy.
Who disarmed Anakin? Obviously the Tuscans. Dude, I suck at spelling. I can't. I'm getting all of them wrong.
What? Oh, come on.
Ooh, hey, double gold.
What? Oh, come on.
Are you Unknown Man? Are you kidding? Well, you didn't even get the most gold, dingus. Tried to steal from me and got nothing. Oh, somebody steal from me, please.
Damn it.
Oh my
Hanji
gosh.
Club.
Who's
I
the chosen
lost
one? That's more of a subjective question.
Why do Obi-Wan what? Double gold. Okay.
I love how some of these, the picture just shows you the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did the Clone Wars begin? Wasn't that like Solist?
How dare you?
3.9 billion.
3.9 billion is insane.
That is honestly crazy. What planet is Rey from?
And I'm out here losing 50%.
I lost 25%. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, I'm at 11 billion.
How?
11 billion.
Dude, Ike is just harassing me in the chat. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to play smart here.
I'm getting like
We have
plus
1 minute
20
left,
gold.
by the
How
way.
does that help? It's going to come down to the wire here.
Oh, I was so close to winning the whole thing, too.
Oh, I just got put back in this picture here.
Oh, it wasn't the DH. I'm so stupid.
Oh my gosh, yes. I can take 25%.
Where's Ray from? Jakku? That's actually not true. She just happens to be there in The Force Awakens. She
Yeah, they
wasn't born
explained
there.
that. Double gold. Yes, I'm going to actually win. No, I guess not.
I currently have 217 billion coins right now.
What?
No, I just got swapped with somebody. Oh, I swapped with last place. I have 0.
No, I misclicked. No.
Dude,
Okay.
none of those were right.
I just
Ilum
went from
crystals?
first to last in the last 10 seconds.
No.
Who?
No.
Silver Whipper, I hate you.
Wait,
Who's Silver Whipper?
He
That's,
just I was in first. He swapped with me last second.
that's someone in my chat. That's actually my one good friend in real life.
Are you?
What
Tell him
accuracy did
he's
everyone
the
get?
worst.
No.
Tell
Tell him to come onto this live stream. I want to talk to him for a second.
Was he
Yeah.
just waiting there with the swap and then pressed
I
it
don't
last
know.
second?
Burke,
That would have
go
been genius.
to
Yeah, come to my
what's the
live
Star Wars Nerd
stream.
channel.
Let me show you what a true Star
What was
Wars
everyone's accuracy?
Oh, mine was pretty
2%.
terrible.
82.
Dude,
Mine was
what- it
77.
was the unknown man.
78.
No
Not
way.
too bad.
Ooh.
No way you were the unknown man. My friend, I don't even know he was watching a live stream. He's the unknown man.
Well,
All right, guys, I
That
might
was
have to
unknown.
head out. Unfortunately.
All right.
Have a good
Well, I
one.
mean, at least you stay for about an hour, so we'll do some stuff without you. All right. Well, see you, Morgan. It's been an honor.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ty.
Thank you.
See you, Mike. See you, Star Wars Idiot.
see you, Morgan.
Bye. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
All right. Well, I guess with him gone, you guys want to do this one more time? Just for
No.
the sake of it? No? Okay.
That made me lose my mind.
All right. Okay. Well, with that, I was gonna say something we could do, but I forgot. So I guess we'll just. What are your guys' thoughts? Let's start with a hot topic. Ryan Gosling coming to Star Wars. Yay or nay?
I'm
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
Oh.
You go.
I'm personally fine with it. I feel like it's gonna bring a lot of people not into Star Wars into Star Wars. But other than that, I feel like it's good to have like an actual like big name like actor coming into Star Wars because that's gonna bring a lot of their fans into Star Wars and everything. Do I necessarily like him as an actor? Not really, but I have faith that they're gonna be fine with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to bring in fans who weren't fans before. That's what big time actors do. The cool part that I like about it is almost they're putting so much on this movie because Starfighter is the second movie to come in the first movie to be after the sequels. So it's got a lot riding on it, and Ryan Gosling is a big time name. Maybe they think we can get a big old box office in here, something like big box office explosion. But they already cast the female villain, Mia Goth. Never heard of her. I've heard she's semi-famous from what I hear. She's married to somebody, I forget who. But she's famous. I'd never heard of her. But that's kind of what I like with Star Wars is like, I've never heard of this person, but they're going to be pretty good.
Mhm.
And then Star Wars makes people household names rather than bringing in household names. So I don't know. I'm not against it yet. He's good in other things I've seen him in, and he's been in the sci-fi realm before with Harrison Ford too, in the Blade Runner movie. So,
I did just look it up. She's married to Shia LaBeouf.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Interesting. Me personally, I think he's Knuff. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool movie. Yeah, I'm glad you got the reference.
I did.
I'm looking forward to it. Ryan Gosling is pretty cool. I like the other Ryan though, Ryan Reynolds. So until he comes in and we see Deadpool in Star Wars, I don't know, but I'm interested. You know,
Yeah.
It takes place. What was it? 20 years after the Battle of Exegol. So
Five years.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
very close, but same thing. So it takes place relatively soon after that. I want to see more of like remnants of the Empire though, because like we know, Endor, that was not their full fleet. They had billions upon billions of people serving the Empire. And yes, granted, that was like 30, 40 years ago. You have to imagine there has to be some Imperial loyalists still out there because there are some species that can live for a long time. I want to see more huts. I want to see like the criminal underworld. Like I love like the Crimson Dawn is one of my favorite aspects of Star Wars. They're just so cool and interesting with Dryden Voss, Kira, the Black Sun, the Pikes, all of that I love. But yeah, like if we could see a Dark Jedi in there too, that would be really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Starfighter is going to get into remnants of the Empire, but it'll definitely be more, I think, the underworld type stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. Yeah.
But here's a question I have for you guys. Like we saw in the Last Jedi, when they sent out a distress call on Crate saying like, "Hey, the First Order's here. They're trying to kill us," and it was revealed that people received the signal, but nobody came. Then to go to the Rise of Skywalker, where they sent out the same signal, or I guess Lando went over and grabbed the people, and then millions of people came. I don't know if it was millions, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of people came. Where did that come from? Like, did they just the odds are even worse for us now because we have a bunch of starships that can blow up entire planets with a single one? Like, did they all want to kamikaze themselves? Like, that's
No.
always confused me.
The way that I saw it was The Last Jedi is right after The Force Awakens, like the exact
I think it takes
scene
place like
after.
a year after the Force.
No,
Oh wait,
it's-
no, Force
it's
Awakens, Last Jedi. My bad.
Seconds after, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So what just happened was the First Order just blew up the entire New Republic. So the whole galaxy's going, holy crap, these guys are scary as hell. Let's not, no thanks, we're good. So when the distress call comes out, they're like, we're not messing with these guys. They just blew up the entirety of the New Republic with one shot. That's not happening. So what I think changes from that to the Rise of Skywalker is they win. At least they win on Crate. They kill Snoke. They escape and they grow a little bit stronger, at least over the course of the couple months that's in between Last Jedi and Rise. And then you bring in Lando and you bring in some I guess people with connections. But I think, yeah, for The Last Jedi, when nobody showed up, is they got absolutely smacked just a couple weeks before, if even that.
I also feel like a lot of it has to do with the threat of Palpatine.
That
Like
too,
everyone,
yeah.
like
I'm
Palpatine's like some mustache man in our world. Like he's hated by like everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like if he came back, they want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And that's at least how I look at it.
That too, yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, that does answer my question. Another question I have, this goes for everybody in the chat too. What is your guys' favorite lightsaber duel? That is what I'm interested in. Is it the Anakin versus Obi-Wan one, or is it obviously Yoda versus R2D2? Which one?
Well,
Are we talking live action?
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
talking about any?
It's
Well,
up to you guys.
for me, it's revenge and it's Obi-Wan versus Anakin. The conversation is not that like easy to have though, because there's some really great lightsaber duels, especially if you start talking animation. Because there's some really underrated lightsaber duels in animation. But yeah, it's got to be Revenge of the Sith for me.
I think it has to be Revenge of the Sith for me too. But I want to give a huge shout out to the mocap fight that they had in season 7 with Ahsoka and Maul. That was
so
extremely smooth, and for animation, it just blew my mind.
That too, and a very underrated one is Sidious versus Maul in Savage Opress. Like that's a great one.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you got Maul versus Obi-Wan on Tatooine when he dies. It's simple, but it's effective.
And the thing with that one on Tatooine too is it's the same exact move Maul did in Phantom Menace. So Obi-Wan knew he was going to do that, and that's how he could counter it. And I think that went over a lot of people's heads on why did it end so fast? Like Maul's a better character than that.
Yeah.
But
there's so much just in here that goes on in that scene, and it's only it's a minute long maybe, but it's Obi-Wan switching up his stances to make him think he's got the upper hand and all that stuff. Yeah, it's all mind games.
Now let me ask you this: was Maul obviously he was like a bad guy like previously, but after like Malachor and everything, would you consider him like still a bad guy, or would you consider him someone that's just
I mean, he
down the wrong
a lot of
path?
people.
I mean, yeah, of course, but
he's a Sith Lord and then he's not. So like he's a bad guy in terms of, I guess, who you look at. Like he's a bad guy to certain people and he's not to others. Like he's still in Clone Wars season 7. He wants Ahsoka to join him so that they can take down Sidious. But would he just take his place still and be evil, or would he it's I don't think he's a good guy, but I don't think he's as evil as Vader and as Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I was going to say too before you said that was, and I never thought about this until this very second, the Maul Obi-Wan fight in Rebels being so simple actually helps a lot with the slowness of the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader in A New Hope. Because that fight, since it was so long ago, they didn't have the technology to make it all epic and whatever. But because it's an old man Obi-Wan versus Vader, it's more of a mind games type fight now. And it's more of that, like, these two have fought so many times in the past. They've trained together. They fought on Mustafar. They fought in Kenobi. They fought all these times.
Wait,
so now when it comes...
version? of the fight?
What?
Did you see the
What?
remade version of the fight?
Yeah, the cut
Oh,
the
okay.
cut version or whatever.
I was just like, if you did not see that, you need to see that
No, I
right
have. Yeah. So, and then when it comes down to it in A New Hope, it's more mind games. And I think if the Maul versus Obi-Wan fight in Rebels was this extravagant, crazy, cool lightsaber duel, it would honestly probably hurt the New Hope fight. But since it's so simple and quick, it actually helps it out a lot.
I never thought about it in that direction, and that's actually a very, very valid point.
Yeah.
I guess for me then, definitely like the Maul versus Obi-Wan fight, it's from the Phantom Menace, that also is one of my top lightsaber fights of all time. It's just so fast-paced, very cool.
Yeah.
But the Maul versus Obi-Wan on Tatooine, well, my family definitely, they are guilty of this. Like, they don't like it that much because it's very short. But I view it as probably the most significant duel in all of Star Wars. Like, yes, there's Anakin versus Obi-Wan. It's important, yes, but Anakin, regardless, was going to turn to the dark side. Obi-Wan was never going to kill him. I mean, no matter what you think, Obi-Wan would never have it in him to kill Anakin. The thing is, though, if Maul were to kill Obi-Wan, that would have altered the course of Star Wars entirely. Luke would have joined the Imperial Academy because no one would have told him otherwise, or he would have stayed on Tatooine forever. Meaning, the Death Star would have blown up Yavin. The Alliance is gone now. Emperor Palpatine and the Empire rule forever. And Luke would join that empire because nobody told him else. So the Jedi would be dead. Yoda would be smoking his death sticks on Dagobah. Like, the Jedi are gone, man. Ahsoka maybe do something, but at the end of the day, most of the Jedi are extinct. Sure, there's a couple of like random Jedi, Cal Kestis, but none of them are the Luke Skywalker. So that's significant wise. That's why it's my favorite duel. Visual wise, Revenge of the Sith. I mean, no explanation is needed for that.
Yeah.
I agree with you in every aspect except the Death Star wouldn't have found Yavin. Yavin wouldn't have been destroyed, correct? Because the only reason that Luke went to Alderaan in the first place was because he got the signal to Ben Kenobi.
Yeah. True. But here's the other thing. If Obi-Wan, Luke, Han, they never went to the Death Star, Princess Leia would have never got rescued. And eventually, no matter how strong Princess Leia is, anybody's going to crack eventually. It does not matter who you are. Even Luke Skywalker, given enough time, he will break. So the thing is, yes, it might have given them more time to evacuate. But Yavin would be found out eventually. It would just take time. Because Princess Leia, she's strong. She is very powerful in the Force. She's not had training in the Force. That's the big thing. She has a natural adaptability for it, but with nothing to sure you wouldn't crack Ike, sure. But with nothing to really hone in her skills, I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's a waiting game at that point.
Mhm.
Well, if you take Obi-Wan out of the equation, is Leia still sending R2 to Tatooine with a message for Obi-Wan, asking for help?
Well, would they know he's dead? Because think about it, he's in everybody else's eyes an old hermit. The family would never check in on him, really.
Well, if they don't, then they send the droids, and the droids just get stuck there. Because Luke's gonna find the message and be like, Obi-Wan, oh yeah, he's dead.
And
like,
Luke and everyone,
the dead dude, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
And I mean, Luke and everyone would have gotten founded out by the Empire for harboring the droids, which is why Owen and Brew were killed in the first place.
Yes, the stormtroopers come to the house, so they would have been caught.
So that's the end of Luke Skywalker right there, automatically.
And that's probably the end of the rebellion too, because they don't get the plans.
Interesting. So we're just going down what if tangents. I love this. Now, if that is the what if, this is what if I want to ask you guys. It's what I'm currently working on right now, and I think when it's all done, it's gonna be about 3 hours long. But here's my it's a lot of work. But here's my question: what would have happened if Count Dooku exposed Palpatine? What do you guys think would happen? Like, how drastically would things change?
What part are we talking about?
Yeah,
are we talking about like when Anakin has him?
Yes, Revenge of the Sith. His hands are cut off, and Anakin's about to kill him, and he's just like, "Wait, Palpatine's the Sith Lord."
Well, Obi-Wan's unconscious, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he is.
So it's just Anakin,
Palpatine, and Dooku. But what's going to happen? That's what I want to hear your guys' input from, because my story's all written out. I want to hear how yours would differ.
See, It's if Anakin would believe him at first. You know, because
Anakin did believe him.
I think Anakin, let's say he believes him. At that point in the movie, I don't think he hasn't had the nightmares yet. So he's not concerned for Padme's death. So that's really the big catalyst for him wanting to learn that ability from Palpatine. And that all happens after that. So I think he'd immediately be like, what the heck? And then either kill Palpatine or try to arrest Palpatine. He'd definitely wake up Obi-Wan. I don't know. It's movie craziness. He wouldn't chop his head off.
What this dude told me.
He wouldn't chop his head off, that's for sure.
See, I don't know if Anakin would go directly to killing Palpatine because, like, that's still a mentor to him. You know,
I don't think
like, that's still his father figure, like Qui-Gon would have been. You know,
I think
Obi-Wan's like a brother.
He'd arrest him to figure out the truth, I think.
And like, would Palpatine allow himself to get arrested? Like, oh, it's just an enemy telling, like, fake stuff.
I feel like if Palpatine gets arrested, he can talk his way out of it. Or he has so much connections that he'd be like, what? I'm a Sith Lord now? Like, what are you talking about? Obviously, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is interesting.
That's why I got into YouTube in the first place. Like, figuring this stuff out and connecting all the dots is so fun. It's so entertaining. It's like a new game in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, Mike, have you done a live stream recently? Or not a live stream, a what if, I mean.
Not since Andor started. I usually don't do them when the shows are coming out, and then since Andor ended, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting back on the what ifs stuff because there's not another show for a while. But yeah, now I'm just trying to figure it out. I think I already got my next one set, like what it's gonna be. But
okay, mind giving us a preview? Anything?
Well, it's just gonna be. It's gonna actually be similar to what we were just talking about, and that was what if R2 and C-3PO didn't make it to Tatooine? Like their shuttle just gets instead of when the shuttle gets out and the guys go, "There's no life forms on that, let it go." Instead of that, they like get the order to go, "Okay, kaboom," and they blow up the thing. So it's what if the Death Star plans don't make it to Tatooine?
Okay.
I'm sort of just I'm still writing the story for it and stuff, but it's an interesting.
That's gonna be so dark.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
the coolest part too, I just came to this, and I always bounce off my Discord every once in a while too. I came to this sort of, I guess, dead end where I was like, okay, so it doesn't get to Luke, it doesn't get to Obi-Wan, so Obi-Wan wouldn't come help, and then, well, Luke wouldn't come help at all, I guess, because he doesn't go to Obi-Wan, but maybe Obi-Wan comes and helps, brings him along. That's besides the point. The reason that Obi-Wan would come help is because he would sense Alderaan. He'd sense the billions of people dying as it gets blown up. And then he'd be like, all right, it's time to go. Now, the question I have for you guys, and maybe help me out a little bit, would he go and just kidnap Luke Skywalker before he leaves? Or would he just
an old dude kidnapping a minor, so that'd be a little interesting.
But he knows that Luke is the key to all this. He's not just going to leave him behind.
But he's also really respectful to Beru and Owen's wishes. You know, like
maybe you could just burn him like the stormtroopers did. Fast forward the events a little bit. Call me a psychopath, but I think that could work.
I feel like if Obi-Wan came to the house and was like, Luke, I need you. And he's like, who the hell are you? He's like, oh, let me tell you about your father. And then Uncle Owen's like, no, don't do that. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. And then he gives him a lightsaber. He'd be like, I'm going with this old hermit guy. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. Well,
even in the movie, the only reason he decided to go is because Owen and Beru died.
True.
Were incinerated, you know? Because he was like, oh, I have to stay here, do the farms or whatever it was that he had to do.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really all that confident in it until after Owen and Beru died. And then he was like, yeah, I'll train to become this. I have nothing left here.
So what you're telling me is I have to have Obi-Wan go kill Aunt Beru and Uncle.
Yes.
I have an alternative for that. What you could do. Say they blew up the pods, right? But fragments of them, including the map, crash landed on the Beru farm or the Lars farm. So then the Empire is like scouring the whole planet to find out where they landed. And then Obi-Wan still senses the disturbance in Alderaan, all the deaths. and then he goes to like grab Luke, but then at that point, the Empire already found out like, hey, the crash was here. They found the disc, and then they just so there's no evidence of anything left. They decide to kill Owen, kill Beru, and they were going to kill Luke, but before they did that, Obi-Wan comes in, saves everyone. So then now Luke is with Obi-Wan, and he has motive to leave Tatooine and motive to fight the Empire because they did kill it. It would be difficult though to portray because that's kind of
like
exaggerating a tad.
That's a bit too much of a coincidence, in my opinion.
That,
like
that lands there.
It's like that's massive planets.
Yeah.
Like I could understand if maybe like it landed in like Mos Eisley or the other town that I forget the name of really quick. You know, I could understand that, but
I honestly think that Luke's probably going to be sidelined from this whole adventure because Uncle Owen, and he won't want to go, and then Uncle Owen won't let him go. So I think
kill Uncle Owen, kill Aunt Beru. You know,
well, I think he might come back for Luke, like later on in the story, like come back and be like, "Look, I found your sister."
You could have Leia.
Yeah, no, Leia is definitely going to be a helpful hand, but can Obi-Wan, even if he goes and gets Han and Chewie because he needs a way off the planet, even if he gets to Alderaan, they get captured without Luke, they should still be able to rescue Leia, right?
Depends on how you're taking about this.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't be. I mean,
Luke wasn't that big of a role in that.
He was like a minor role.
Fighter in this story, like is Obi-Wan still like I'm just gonna teach you guys, or is he more like I'm gonna take the charge, I'm gonna fight with you? Like how is Obi-Wan gonna be in this story?
I feel like he's got to be okay. Leia's the top priority right now because he knows Leia. He knows he knows that she needs to be saved. And with Luke not being involved, he's probably might put all his chips in Leia now. I don't know. I feel like he'll go back for Luke eventually in the story, but the top priority is keeping Leia safe right off the bat. That probably means he's not going to just purposefully die to Vader on the Death Star.
Interesting.
I also feel like you could add like a separate like side plot to that, where it's like if Owen didn't allow Luke to go, maybe Luke wanted to join the academy, like the Imperial Academy, once he turned 18 or became an adult. You know, so he joins the academy, and then he's going up against all these people that tried to get him to join his side, and then he has like all these conflicting emotions where it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, I've already like mocked up some Luke in Academy outfit stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, while we're on the topic of what ifs, Star Wars Idiot, Shane, what's your what if about, or any what if in general?
Well, like I told you the other day, I'm really trying to move away from what ifs. I really don't have the time for them anymore. Just writing the story and editing all of them, it takes me like by myself 3 to 4 days. And with me working a full-time job and everything, it's not really tenable for me. So I'm just going to be trying to stream in my off times, whether it's games or doing stuff like this or anything. But I'm not trying to lose this channel. I'm trying to be more active. And I'm trying to grow more, but I'm just not in the correct mindset right now, let's say.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Oh, well, we're here for you always.
Thank you.
Content creating game is not an easy one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm still relatively new, but like, it's not as easy as I thought.
Yeah, I started actually in January last year. It was like my New Year's resolution. But at that time, I was only working a job that worked me 2 days a week. I had so much more time, you know, and now I got a full-time job. I can't really do as much as I was doing before. So,
yeah. But you never know what the future can hold.
Yeah, of course. I'm not like leaving this channel or anything. I love this channel. I love the community I built. It might only be like 2.1 thousand subs, but that's 2.1 thousand subs that love listening to what I do and love watching me and love my stories, and that all means so much to me, you know.
Of course, yeah.
All
right. Not to just so gear shift so fast, but I do have a very aching question I've been meaning to ask you guys. why do you guys think if Yoda and Darth Vader were to fight, this is a Revenge of the Sith Yoda versus, let's say, the Kenobi series Vader, who would win? I personally think Yoda would win because he's just much quicker, faster, and much more powerful in the Force. Well, mastery of the Force, I should say. He mastered the Force. He's reached his potential. Who do you think would win in this scenario?
Let me ask you this: who do you think would win? Oh man, I just lost my train of thoughts. Would it be Yoda or oh man, I just lost my train of thoughts. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're all good. Try to catch a train.
Well, the Yoda versus Vader, I feel like it's got to be, if it's Revenge of the Sith Yoda, it's got to be Yoda. It's the reason he stays behind to take Palpatine down, because he thinks that Palpatine's more powerful than Anakin. And he knows that Obi-Wan is sort of taking the lesser character in that battle, I guess. I think Yoda's a lot more powerful than even we see. We see him go up against Palpatine. We see him go up against Dooku. But Vader is so limited by his suit. And even though he's very powerful with the Force and very strong, I still feel like Yoda jumping around, Revenge of the Sith Yoda, not old man Yoda, jumping around can actually probably get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Who do you think would win, Yoda or Obi-Wan? Because Obi-Wan beat Vader technically in the Obi-Wan series.
I mean, we're talking about the Space Jesus versus a 900-year-old frog with a receding hairline.
Well, he's not 900, and I mean, he's around 900. He's like
He's close,
870 or whatever. But
he's an old frog with a receding hairline, so I don't know. Personally,
man,
I think
have to give that to Yoda.
Yoda would crush him.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Master of the Order we're talking about. Like,
yeah,
we need to understand he's been around for almost 900 years. You think about it. Think of how powerful Mace Windu was. He's a human. He's not been around a fraction of Yoda's time. Yoda has lived through everything. If he was born a few hundred years earlier, he would have lived throughout the Sith Wars too. So he, in my opinion, he is the embodiment of the Jedi. He's been around forever. He knows everything. So there's really nothing with the Force or with lightsaber combat he wouldn't know, which makes Palpatine almost besting him in lightsaber combat all the more interesting. But personally, yeah, Yoda versus Vader, in my opinion, Vader's powerful, but Yoda is the embodiment of the Jedi Order.
I also don't think that Sidious bested Yoda in lightsaber combat, wasn't it, with the Force powers?
Yeah, he just threw a bunch of Senate chairs at him.
Yeah, and Yoda lost his lightsaber and fell. So I don't even really want to call that a loss for Yoda, even though he fell, because if he didn't lose his lightsaber and everything, I feel like he would have gone back up there and fought him still.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think with that, actually, I did during the time of March, I did a March Madness Star Wars characters 1v1 battles, and I was shocked because we had like 1 million characters on the list. But I was shocked that Yoda won the whole thing.
Really?
I didn't think of that going in, but
so like canon and Legends, or just canon?
I was just canon characters, but it made sense coming down to it. I didn't think it would be Yoda, but when it came down to it, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Yoda should win this battle, like every time.
Was that like a favorite character, or was that just like who do you think would win in a battle against each other? Okay,
it was who would win. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, I was about to bring up another thing, but like I lost my train of thought too. Oh wait, no, I remember. If you guys have been on the internet recently, you've heard about the Battlefront 3, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you in full support of it, or are you like a hater, just a certified rage baiter?
Oh, I'm definitely on board with it. The thing with Battlefront 3, that's because I'm playing so much Battlefront 2 now because it's so back. But there's a few problems with the game. Battlefront 2, that is. First of all, cross-platform. I think it's so annoying. Cross-platform needs to happen for Battlefront 3. But new characters, too. Just upgraded graphics. Like, for the most part, Battlefront 2 is a solid game. There's only a few things. You got to get new characters, new updates, and cross-platform. That's really it. So, Battlefront 3, I don't expect it anytime soon. Even if they do hear the message and say, "Yeah, let's do that," because it'll make billions of dollars or millions of dollars at least. Let's do that. It won't happen for at least a couple of years because they got to make the game.
Mhm.
So we're not asking for something immediate. That's for sure.
Yeah. Then I guess, well, what are your thoughts on this, Shane, for Battlefront 3?
I'm excited, but like he said, like I never ever like I know there's some people out there that thought like, oh, if we get it so popular, they come out within like 3 weeks and everything. It's like no, that's not the case. They have to make the game because I'm almost positive they didn't even start anything like that. Like they're focused on Battlefield and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is possible, and I feel like with how good Andor did and everything, that it's going to depend on also how good the other movies and shows do going forward. Because if it's something like Andor, where everyone's like back in the Star Wars vibe, then yeah, they'll do it because they'll know will sell, you know. But if that doesn't happen, then I don't think they'll do it. I think it varies on the popularity of Star Wars over the next at least few months to a year or two.
Yeah. I hope they make it. I would love to see different characters because, I mean, let's be honest, them bringing in the droids instead of R2-D2 was a crime against the whole Star Wars community. In not having Ahsoka or Captain Rex in, I mean, that's unforgivable. But I would love Battlefront 3.
In my opinion, they shouldn't have even added the sequel characters in. I mean, playing
Good, but
like playing Capital Supremacy or something with like in the sequels, you have what, like 3 or 4 heroes on each side when there's like 8 or 9 for the Republic and the Rebels.
Yeah. And well, now you could add characters like the show characters, Din Djarin, Grogu, Andor, like all these different
Salacious B. Crumb, even. Like, I'd love
Yeah, how crazy do you go? That's the idea.
Yeah. Oh, and also finally to respond to Ike because he has been spamming the comments. We were discussing what ifs. Now we're discussing Battlefront 3, and then eventually we're going to discuss a new topic too. So I'm just saying that's what we're doing. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Battlefront 3. What are your guys' like favorite Star Wars games though, just in general? Oh, Droopy McCool would still be in Star Wars Battlefront 3.
So mine, obviously you have to go with the original Battlefront 2, 2005. But also this might be a game you guys don't know about. I think it also came out in 2005, and that's Star Wars Empire at War.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I've seen like gameplay of it, but I've never played it myself.
I have like 900 hours in that game on Steam.
Oh my god.
I'm a gamer, if you can tell.
Backing off.
But,
hours.
The modding community in that, it may have came out in 2005 with poor like mechanics and all that, but the modding community keeps it fresh, keeps it new, improves the graphics and everything. And there's games that look like mods on that game that look like it's made this day.
That's sick.
Yeah, so those are probably my 2 favorite Star Wars games.
For me, recently, it's been the Jedi games. I love Survivor so much. Just the mechanics of taking down those, just anything and everything with the lightsaber. It was so good. There's so many different takedowns and stuff. Cal Kestis is just a great character. And story-wise, the story's great. But all time, I mean, you got to talk like the complete saga, Lego Star Wars, obviously. But I was a little, because the complete saga was so great, I was a little disappointed with the Skywalker saga one because I thought it was going to be like multiplayer or something new to it. It was cool. It was good, but it wasn't like the greatest, you know.
I like the open world aspect of that, but I feel like that's the only thing it really had to the other games. Like the other games felt more nostalgic. And I mean, the other games didn't even have like actual commentary or people talking.
Yeah.
Like it was just the Lego sounds,
Whoa.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, Lego Star Wars, the original complete saga, you know, movies 1 through 6, that nothing will ever beat that in my opinion. I mean, sure, we have the Battlefront games, which are peak, and we also have the Jedi Survivor games in Fallen Order. But really, when we're looking at what started the Star Wars games off, I mean, yeah, we got Battlefront, but like the Legos, that is what truly brought me into the gaming side of Star Wars. And also, another one of my favorite games is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, if you know that. It's a mobile game.
Yeah, I haven't played that, but I have heard about it.
I'm a pretty good player. I don't mean to brag, but my account is like really good. So
Nice.
I have, if I had to guess, thousands of hours on that game because I am addicted to it a lot, more so than I am to YouTube. So, but yeah, those are like my favorite games of Star Wars.
I also want to say the Lego games, I feel like brought a lot of people into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
That's, I think, I've watched the movies beforehand, but I didn't understand the story really until I played the Lego games. And I was like 9, 10 at the time, but I remember when I figured out Anakin was Vader and I was like, what? There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good question for you guys too. What are your thoughts on Star Wars What If? Like, should they do it? I know we have Visions, but like we've seen with Marvel, they did their own What If series, and the first season was pretty good. Everything else, I mean, it's not good. But what are you guys' thoughts?
Well, I think that first of all, Marvel's What If is doing all the wrong things. But with a Star Wars What If, I don't think they should do it. There's a few reasons as to why. First and foremost, the Star Wars fans, ourselves included, come up with them and do them ourselves on YouTube or on anything. And that's fine enough. I think what they need to focus on over at Lucasfilm and over at Disney is just the canon content. Like, we need great canon content coming out at a consistent rate to even start thinking about a What If series. I like the Vision stuff. Like, there's some episodes that are good, some episodes that are really bad, but it's fun. And it doesn't really take away from all the other stuff because it's completely different studios making it and everything. So I think no for a What If series. It's just not necessary. And with Marvel, it makes sense because of the multiverse and because of all that stuff. But with Star Wars, it's yeah.
See, I didn't think about it from that direction, but if they did do that, that would take a lot of the views away from us. Like people would watch that instead of watch these fake creators doing all of it, and it's like that's not really what we want. We want people to come watch our stuff.
Yeah.
How did you guys like Visions?
Ooh.
Yeah, Visions to me, it's not my favorite. I'm looking forward to season 3 because season 3 is actually like an extension of the best episodes, but it peaked at episode 1 of season 1. Like, that Ronin episode is so good. There's other great episodes in there, like the Ninth Jedi and the Twins, and there's a few other ones, but its peaks are good, but it's got some pretty low valleys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I first watched it, my pea-brain-sized brain thought that was canon, so I was so confused. I was like, "Wait, what? This is so weird. I didn't know this was in Star Wars."
Yeah,
the Umbrella lightsaber. My mind was blown because I was like, "Wait, this existed? Why aren't there?" I thought this would be more popular. This is crazy. And then eventually I was like, wait, this can't be right. Then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's not canon. No.
So my friend was getting me into anime like within the last month. I haven't watched any anime before like the last month, including Visions. So I've been in an anime mood, and we decided to watch Visions. And I pretty much told myself going in, I'm going to look at this from an anime perspective, not from a Star Wars perspective, And looking at it from an anime perspective, I loved it. But looking at it from a Star Wars perspective, I did not like it at all. I mean, obviously there were its bad, like even anime, like animations and all that. But just looking at it from an anime sense, like it was okay, But looking at it in the Star Wars direction, I couldn't really get past a lot of the stuff that was shown, and like it all just seemed too insane to me in a way.
Yeah, that's another reason as to why I wouldn't want to see a What If series. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. do you guys want to talk about then? Because I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about, but it was all on my main computer. And as we've already established, that thing is kind of a piece of junk. So I'm trying to get my notes, but until then.
I actually have like 2 questions or something that I have written down if you guys want to go through them.
Yeah, let's go.
So my first one is, was the Republic doomed to fail because of the corruption or the bureaucracy?
Yes, but I think honestly a lot of the corruption, and another reason as to why I like the Acolyte, is because of the Jedi Order. Like the Jedi, and the same thing that Qui-Gon's preaching in the Phantom Menace, is that the Jedi Order, and the reason he's doesn't have a seat on the council either, is because the Jedi Order is so corrupted by politics. The Jedi aren't supposed to be warriors in a war; they're keepers of the peace, and they're not supposed to be politicians either. And that's what they've slowly become by the time of the prequel trilogy. So the Republic doomed to fail? Well, Palpatine has a lot to do with that. But I think the Jedi were doomed to fail because of their political inquiries, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but there is one thing. You mentioned how the Jedi should not be politicians. I agree with that. But there, in one of my Star Wars books, the Book of the Jedi, or the Jedi Path or whatever, in that they go over the different branches of the Jedi Order, and one of the jobs they could have was called a Jedi Ambassador, and their sole purpose was to go into the Republic Senate and help vote on things. Like they were the politicians of the Jedi Order. Now, when you said that the Acolyte showed us how corrupted the Jedi were, I agree with you on that. I hate the Acolyte. I think it's a terrible show, but that, yes, they did do that a good job. Because it does show the Jedi, they lost their way a lot. But the thing with the Jedi being politicians, like that we in the book, at least, it is unfortunately legends. But there are branches of the Jedi that were politicians. So I don't know if that changes anything dramatically, but it is something to chew on,
Yeah, but the council weren't the politicians, and that's what it was in the movies.
Yeah.
Yes,
the Republic was doomed to fail because the corruption was too deep. Yes, Palpatine was the major cause of it, but when you think about it, a lot of the senators, they were only doing things for themselves. Sure, for every Onfrita, we have Bail Organa, but the thing is, a lot of them were just so corrupted, they would do anything for power and money. And then, every good senator, there was 20 bad ones, which is why, we saw in the Clone Wars, whenever the good guys try to get a bill passed, it was so incredibly difficult. And I'm no politician, but I have worked on the for writing policies for laws in the state of California. So I have a basic understanding of how things work. And yeah, if you don't have the support of the majority of people, it's impossible. And yes, corruption is a big problem there too. So it's very interesting. But yeah, I think it was always doomed to fail.
Okay. And to add on to that question, do you think anything could have been done that could have saved the Republic?
Getting rid of Palpatine? That would have been a start. Honestly, maybe Qui-Gon not dying would help for the Jedi side of things. Him being the one who trains Anakin and showing Anakin, but also showing the Jedi that they're lost their way. Dooku doesn't fall. He also believes the same things. A lot of that stuff could help change the Jedi's perspective. Palpatine is the key for all of it in the Republic because he's got to go. If you have a different Chancellor that's not Palpatine, that's maybe like Bail Organa or something like that, Mon Mothma, then maybe. But there's a lot of corruption already in the Senate. There's just got to be somebody to mediate that. And Palpatine was definitely not the one to do that because he wanted all that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this answer I'm about to say may sound a little psychotic and demonic to some of you guys, but I am a firm believer that really the only way they could fully get rid of the corruption, they had to, I'm going to use a metaphorical sense, they had to burn the Republic to the ground. Because you think about it, corruption, it's not just at the surface, it goes down deep. Like Coruscant, for example, we know that is the heart of the Republic. That is the center of the galaxy, basically. That's what they called it. The thing is, though, Coruscant's a prime example of how far the Republic has fallen. Sure, the first 100 levels of it, they had a sense of justice with the Republic. But below that, when we get to levels 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, they've never heard of the Republic. There's no law, there's no order down there. And then we look at stuff all across the galaxy. Ryloth, that is a planet like, yes, it's good, but it's so oppressed. Then we look at other planets. I'm trying to think of a good. There's like a lot of examples out there though of planets forgotten by the Republic. They're in the recent Star Wars shows too. I'm blanking on the name, so it seems as if I'm giving a bad example, but there's a lot of planets out there where the Republic just completely abandoned them. Like we saw in Tales of the Jedi with Count Dooku on that one planet with Qui-Gon where they were rescuing the Senator's son. That shows how far the Republic had fallen. Even the senators of like a planet, which like not of an entire system, of a single planet, had fallen. They were so greedy that they lost their ways. And so they, in order to fully bring back the Republic, in my opinion, they have to burn it to the ground to rebuild it back up. So it may sound dark, but eventually, I mean, that's the only way it's going to happen, though. Palpatine is a key example of this. The Sith infiltrated. The Jedi had no idea. So, in my opinion, that's kind of like the only way it could work.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did pull up my notes, though. So for my other questions, I do have those now. So.
Okay.
Well, but first, do you have any questions you want to ask Mike? Anything at all?
Huh. Okay. Let me think. No.
No? All right.
Not off the top of my head, at least.
All right. All right. So one of the questions I do have, do you guys feel like the Jedi Code, not the order, the code was like flawed from the start?
100%.
Do you feel like it was flawed? Like it was destined to fail?
The purpose behind it wasn't flawed, but the execution was.
Yeah.
Okay.
They shouldn't have to. Well, they shouldn't have to get rid of their feelings and stuff like that. Like a lot of the things that made Anakin turn is the flaws of the Jedi Order, really, and a lot of what made it fall, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to look at it from like a U.S. constitutional sense too. Like with the Constitution, if one word's out of place, or if you didn't cross one T, or if you didn't dot one I, people can look at it a completely different direction, you know, or you can interpret it different ways.
Actually, sort of on that track, I saw something really funny today. It says, it was a sign next to a lake that said, "Crocodiles do not enter," or something along those lines. But it was phrased weird, so that it was like, well, or maybe it was no crocodiles, or something along those lines. So it was like, are there crocodiles in the lake, or are we going to die to crocodiles? It was really like phrased horribly, and it's like punctuation and the way you say something versus the way you write something down can be taken completely differently. And that's sort of,
it's all interpretation. You know, if you don't have that complete sense so that every question is answered, then it won't work, and there will be different interpretations, which will cause divide in the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think it's necessarily flawed, but the execution is.
Yeah.
You know, I think you should allow attachments, not necessarily to the level of Anakin, but you also have to ask, would Anakin have been that attached if not for the code?
Yeah.
You know, like if he was open about it, would he have been more level-headed?
And yeah, if when he came to Yoda and said, my mom's going to die, if she wasn't like, okay, sure, and then she dies, like if that doesn't happen, because they at least go let him visit his mom, like that's, maybe he doesn't fall to the dark side.
Yeah. Then I guess piggybacking off of that, was the Sith code better, or was that also inherently flawed?
It's the same concept. Like everything needs to be written to like really in depth, and I mean that's only what, like 8 lines of code, like the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like that can be interpreted in so many different ways. I mean, our U.S. Constitution is what, like 50 pages? Like I don't know how long it actually is, but it's freaking like there's a lot of words in that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, can you really go off a code that's 8 lines long?
do you feel like the Sith code was better though? Which one would you prefer to follow? Like, are you a Jedi or a Sith? This is where we're coming to now.
This might be crazy. Gray Jedi code.
Oh, interesting. I'm aligning myself more with the Sith code. I love the Jedi. Gray Jedi are pretty cool, but realistically, I'm gonna be a Sith. I don't feel I'm not mentally strong enough where I'm like, oh, my parents died. Oh, anyway, and then going for the day, I'm like, oh, they were murdered. Well, I'm about to go with Keanu Reeves on them. Like, no, I'm gonna get revenge. You know.
You've had some really psychotic question or answers today.
That is
Okay,
true.
you know, if you think this is bad, just don't watch my what ifs. Those are really dark. I'm a huge horror guy. I love action movies. I love gruesome stuff. So I guess that's just seeping into my personality. But yeah, I align myself more with the Sith, I guess. So you can call me Darth Ty. You know, Darth the Nerd.
Darth Ty.
if you will. Darth Ty. Yep. How about you, Mike? What are you, Jedi or a Sith?
And what would your name be?
Ooh,
Your Jedi name.
yes.
I'd probably be a Jedi. I'd like to think at least. And my Jedi name would be Coleman Treber.
That was
Probably.
the most epic Jedi of all time. Just saying.
Yeah. Or, better yet, trying to think who went out even worse than him. I feel like Kit Fisto, he lasted like at least a second with Palpatine.
In the novel, he did.
That's true. Yeah. He lasted a little bit longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely Jedi for sure. Mike still has a hat on? What hat?
What hat? Yeah. Come on, Mike. Come on, Morgan. What you thinking about? So we're all like so different ranged. I'm a Sith. Mike's the Jedi, and then Morgan is like he doesn't want to choose. He's like,
I'm
like
Shane, not Morgan.
Shane. Sorry.
Ah.
Oh my. Oh,
He's
I feel
actually in a Venator right now.
oh my gosh, Livestream is ruined. My bad.
Because Morgan just said something in the chat.
Yeah, Morgan just said I'm wrong. Not Shane. Morgan said I'm wrong. My bad. Okay. I guess if that another question I have though. What do you guys would think if the Jedi were to capture Palpatine? Like if Mace Windu did not like when Anakin said he must stand trial, and Mace Windu was like, "Fine, we'll take him to court." Like, how do you think that would have played out?
He would have got out. He was everything was already too corrupted. Like he can't possibly get arrested through the Senate.
True, because
he's in control. He's in control of all of it too, and there's no real evidence other than the fact that he pulls out a red lightsaber and starts whooping ass that he's a Sith Lord. Like he could still talk his way out of it and get his way out of it.
I think the only way is that like if somehow they got like documents from like Sereno or something, but
yeah,
like you see that in What Ifs all the time, but I personally don't find that realistic. Like there's still a whole war going on, you know. Just if you think you're just gonna be able to waltz into Dooku's homeworld and look for like all this documents and everything. What's that?
Yeah,
just say you're his long lost son who was like trapped at the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. When I guess if we're on the topic of Palpatine and the Sith, who is your guys' favorite Sith? And then we'll go with the Jedi too. First, who's your favorite Sith and why?
You can go first, Shane.
Oof. Can you go first? Because I'm thinking.
Yes. Favorite Sith. I mean, my favorite character is Anakin, so it's hard not to say Vader, but I won't. I love Palpatine, and that's again a very lame answer. Can't go wrong with Bane, the man who creates the rule of two. But
technically, that was Darth Revan. Sorry to be a nerd, but
he's the one who implements it or puts it into place.
Yes.
But Palpatine, I mean, the guy's a freaking genius from beginning to end. He starts a whole galaxy-wide war. He's playing both sides of it as the leader of both sides. Like he's so ahead of everybody. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go with Palpatine.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, talking like going back to the game thing, I completely forgot about Knights of the Old Republic. That's definitely up there in my favorite games too. But it has to be Revan. That's my favorite Sith.
Ooh,
Like Revan is like, I don't like. Can you even call him a Sith? Like he's a Jedi and a Sith, and then a Jedi again. Like,
I mean, he did kind of lead the Sith Empire when he was brainwashed for the Sith, so yeah, you could make the argument.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's like Anakin. Like, could you call him a Sith because he's a Sith for half his life? I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
It's like
guess,
this gray area.
yeah. For me, it's a tie between three characters. Obviously Revan. I mean, duh, he's Revan. But it's also because Darth Maul, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters. I mean, he's cool. His voice is sick, and he also has a double-bladed lightsaber.
And he has one of the best arcs in the
Yes.
freaking
Oh
whole
my
of Star
God.
Wars.
Dialogue also is just peak. Like, there's no other character besides like Salacious Speakfrom with better dialogue. So that's pretty cool. But my hands down, one of my favorite Sith Lords of all time is Darth Malgus. I mean, watching him in Knights of the Old Republic, the trailers, that like when I first saw those trailers a long time ago, back in the 19,000s, that changed my view of Star Wars entirely. I was like, Sith can do that? Are you kidding me? And so Malgus, his suit design is crazy. His voice is insane. You can just see the deterioration of him as the battle progressed. And I love that.
Yeah.
Hilt design is beautiful.
Yeah.
The way he fights the Jedi is so cool too. When he fights Bastila Shan on Alderaan during one of the trailers is so cool. How she only stopped it when she like used the Force in like a kung fu fashion and did like the Falcon thing on him. Like that only stopped him then. And even then that didn't kill him. So he's so cool. Everything he did with the Star Forge, I love it so much. He is one of my favorite Siths, if not my favorite Sith of all time. But yeah.
What's really cool about characters like Revan, like Bane, like Malgus, all those characters eventually, someday, will be, well, they're canon to an extent. Revan's definitely canon, and so is Bane. Bane's in the Clone Wars. But they're canon, but they haven't been explored yet. Like all that stuff, the Knights of the Old Republic games, the cutscenes, all that stuff is still just legends. So once we get those designed characters that are so cool, like all the Sith Lords in the Old Republic, all of them are just awesome. And getting to see that in live action or even in animation, it's going to be the craziest thing.
Do you think we're gonna get something like that, like back in like the Knights of the Old Republic time, or even the Old Republic?
Someday. Well, I think what's happening now as we're like filling up the final gaps of the Skywalker saga with the Maul series and the Mandoverse, we're going post sequels, but we're also going Dawn of the Jedi. Like they're making the Dawn of the Jedi movie. So if the Dawn of the Jedi movie is a wild success, then they're gonna switch gears to the Old Republic. I think they're making Knights of the Old Republic remake, and they have just so much content there that they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I guess since we talk about the Sith now, who's your favorite Jedi?
That's a little bit tougher. I mean, when you're talking just
Yeah.
pure Jedi, you're talking canon, I guess. You got to think like Obi-Wan because he's been through from losing Satine, his Padawan, or losing his master, Qui-Gon, his Padawan Anakin falls to the dark side. He has to fight him. He has to go through all this stuff where he could easily have fallen to the dark side. It never does. Like if you're talking Jedi just purely because he's a Jedi through and through, it's got to be Obi-Wan. But there's some great Jedi out there. Love me some Mace Windu. Yeah, but I got to go Obi-Wan, I think.
Yeah, with the Obi-Wan thing, I've always said that he has one of the saddest stories for a Jedi.
Yeah.
With everything he's been through, losing his master, then his lover, then his Padawan. Like that's like the three things you don't ever want to see at least once, and he's seen them all three times.
Yeah.
But my favorite Jedi is probably Qui-Gon. Just for the fact of he could have been the sole person to bring Anakin back. I mean,
yeah,
the fight's literally called Duel of the Fates because this is the fate of Anakin Skywalker.
Yep.
You know, and if somehow if Qui-Gon survived, the whole fate of the galaxy would have been different.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Qui-Gon is really cool. For me though, it's tough because I loved the Jedi, but I hate Ki-Adi-Mundi. I just don't like his big forehead. But for me, I mean, if you guys read the Yoda comics, there was one of them where he woke up and shows violence. There's a city being attacked by the Separatist droids, and Yoda, he carried this gigantic box around with him the whole time. And then one day, the droids came and attacked him, and he opened the box, and you want to know what's inside? A freaking Gatling gun. And he mowed all the droids down. And with no mercy, he just killed thousands of droids and then went back home. And I was like, my respect for him had just skyrocketed. He like woke up, shows violence with a Gatling gun.
Mhm.
But yeah, like that, he is one of my favorite characters because of that. But Mace Windu, though, is definitely one of my top characters, too. It's like a tie between him, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. I love the trio. Even though, let's be honest, Anakin and Mace Windu, they kind of had like relationship problems. You know, they could have gone to marriage counseling, but you know, I digress. I
think
thought,
they were more of a divorce than anything.
yeah, they definitely would have got divorced.
Yeah.
I just Mace Windu is cool. I love his purple lightsaber. He's a very interesting character too. When you look at it, the reasoning why he has a purple lightsaber, I love that.
Hmm.
Obi-Wan, I mean, all the reasons you guys said. So I feel like I don't need to go into super deep depth.
Yeah.
But for Anakin, he was the he was the tragedy of the Jedi Order. He was the reason they fell, and they are the reason he fell. Like the Jedi failed him, no doubt. And it wasn't his fault that the Jedi Order fell. They were their own fault. They are the reason they fell.
Yeah.
So I love that Anakin. I just love what he did in the Clone Wars. His war crimes, his jokes. It was so cool. The Chopper too. I love Chopper and his war crimes. I thought I want to see more of Chopper and Ahsoka. I love war crimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mace Windu and Yoda. So if I had to choose one though, probably Obi-Wan. You know, I guess we're the Obi-Wan guys. I guess we could call us Kenobi's Corner. Yeah. Sorry, we're the new Kenobi's Corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Obi-Wan, man. I just something about him I love.
Okay, so, sorry to switch up the topic really quick, but with Ahsoka season 2, where do you think that's going to be going? Like, do you think Ahsoka is going to somehow get back to the like normal galaxy?
No, I honestly think Ahsoka's season 2 is going to be the story of two different stories. Like, it's going to be one galaxy versus the other. On one hand, you're going into the Mortis gods, you're going into possibly Abeloth, you're doing Bale and Skull, you're doing Shin Hati, you're doing all this stuff. And then in the other galaxy, it's a completely different story. It's Thrawn, big old war. It's a war in our Star Wars, like Dave Filoni said. It's Thrawn versus Admiral Akbar. It's the Rebels crew. Zeb is back. But I really don't see Sabine or Ahsoka, for that matter, getting back to the Star Wars galaxy by the end of the season. Because at the end of season 1, she says this is where we're supposed to be. I think if Abeloth's being brought in, then their objective and their goal is just going to be these Jedi who train for the rest of their lives on this other galaxy while protecting the rest of the galaxy, the known galaxy, from Abeloth, keeping her a prisoner there with Force Ghost Anakin and Sabine and maybe even Shin or Balin if they turn to the light, whatever happens there. But I think it's really going to be like two separate stories that aren't really combined at all.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, I know this is a huge stretch, but do you think there will ever be a time when we see the Yuzan Vong?
No. Well, maybe. I mean, you could always say maybe, but I think what's more likely is the Grisk, because with the canon stuff, because the Vong have always been sort of that legend species. With the canon stuff, with the Thrawn trilogy, you have the Grisk being involved, and the Grisk are sort of like the Vong, and they're almost like the canon version of the Vong in a way. So I think it's far more likely we'll see the Grisk be that almost superior race type thing than the Vong. But I mean, why not both?
Yeah, it would just add to the suspense.
Exactly. Because you get Sith Lords, you get bounty hunters, you get like your main villain characters, but you never get a whole species of them, you know?
Yeah. And we never really had like a thing where like the whole galaxy was at stake. Like maybe it was one planet, maybe it was a certain civilization, but an entire planet or entire galaxy, we've never seen to that extent.
It would be crazy if Ahsoka was leading to that, like the Vong were taking over that galaxy, and Ahsoka and Sabine have to be like the what the hell? I'm blanking on his freaking name. The guy who rides in and goes, the redcoats are coming. What the hell's his name?
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere, thank you.
Yep.
They're going to be like Paul Revere coming to the main galaxy going, the Vong are coming, the Vong are coming. That'd be kind of cool.
Do you think there's going to be like a world between world aspects in Ahsoka season 2? Like, do you think that's eventually how they get back?
No, I don't see the world between worlds as that. Even when Ahsoka gets saved both times, she has to come out the way she came. She comes out back in the water, and then she goes back to Malachor 5. So she has to always go back out the way that she came in. So I don't see it as a transportation device or anything like that. So no, I don't think that's how they're going to get back. How they get back, if they do get back, it's got to be Purgle and somebody comes to rescue them or something. I don't know. There's got to be some way around that. What I will say, what nobody really ever talks about with Ahsoka is season 1. There's a very important line, or I think it's going to be important, is when they're on their way or they're about to leave, Balin says something along the lines of like, we don't want to get trapped in the void because we'll be lost forever. The void in between galaxies, like this is Neverland type place. So I think that might be like in the future how they destroy somebody or something, like somehow send them off to the void, like
Abeloth.
Like Abeloth. Yeah, you can't defeat her, so you just send her off to the void forever.
Oh, snap.
Like that would be really cool.
Oh, I didn't even think about it that way.
Because they mentioned it like sort of a side, like just, the void, just the void. You're never coming back from there, but it's the void. And they never really talked about it again. So I feel like they set something up there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I personally hope Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, they all come back to the main galaxy. But on the contrast to that, with Abeloth being brought in, they kind of have to stay. Abeloth, with Anakin dead because he is the chosen one, and Luke. I mean, I have a feeling he's going to appear, but with basically everybody gone, it falls upon Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra. So it's like they have to be the ones to either contain her or kill her, because she's the embodiment of evil. There is no switching her back to the light.
But
always be evil.
The thing with that is I don't see those three, if Abeloth's the same as in Legends and everything, beating Abeloth.
Yeah, that's why I think
to her.
That's why I think like she's in the prison, she's still trapped in the prison, but since the Mortis gods are dead, like she can persuade Balin Skull to come free her, but she has to be freed by somebody outside. And I think we might get a glimpse of her power somehow. Maybe it seeps out or something. Like the door is cracked open, but then it's reclosed. And because those characters that are there, they can't beat her. So they'd either have to run back to the other galaxy somehow and warn the others of this impending doom, or they stay there and keep her in that prison, and they're the watchers of the prison for who knows how long, maybe eternity. I don't know.
So me and my friend were talking about Luke's exile and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be something that like relates to that, like his fear of darkness? Because in my opinion, that's not something that I ever see Luke doing unless something so massive mess with him. And that couldn't have been Palpatine or Vader. So I have a feeling that could be Abeloth that contributed to that.
There's a few things that could go into Luke going into hiding. I completely agree with you that right now, as it stands, it's not good. Just his nephew having a few bad dreams is not enough. But what I will say, and maybe it's Abeloth getting in his head, that would be kind of crazy. But I feel like that would be mentioned in the sequels, like, oh yeah, there was this creepy lady who took over the galaxy or tried to take over the galaxy. But I don't know. Another theory that came up was when Snoke comes to power and the First Order, like all that stuff hasn't even been touched upon yet in the Mandoverse. But right now, what they seem to be setting up with the Bad Batch sets up Omega to be this only character that we know of that can transfer midichlorians. That's enormous for Project Necromancer. Grogu, his blood's used to create Force-sensitive clones of Moff Gideon. So if Luke Skywalker, if a combination of those three characters, Luke, Omega, and Grogu, can make the ultimate elixir to bring Palpatine back, or even make a clone army of Force-sensitive clones of Luke or whoever, and Luke finds out about that, or he knows that if he stays around and his blood is taken, and he could be the downfall of the entire universe, like his blood is the key to creating a Force-sensitive army, then that to me would make sense for him to go into hiding. But there's a few options that they could go into, whether it's Abeloth, whether it's Thrawn, whether it's Force-sensitive clone related. But I agree with you that they need to explain that a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Ty?
Nah, I mean, yeah, Mike kind of hit all the points. Not really much else I could add, but yeah, if they were to kind of use Abeloth in a way of explaining Ben Solo's transformation into Kylo Ren, it would definitely help. But at this point, the sequels, the movies they're explained, they're out, and I feel like if Abeloth was to be a reason that Ben turned to the dark side, there would have to be at least a mention of her. But there's nothing at least that we know of.
Yeah.
So they could bring her in, yes, to where it connects to the sequels. But for me personally, this is a very far-fetched idea, but I'm starting to think that they're trying to like completely ignore the sequels entirely. Because you think about it, they're having Thrawn coming back, and according to Dave Filoni, this is a galaxy-wide war between Thrawn's new empire and the Rebel Alliance, or the New Republic.
Yeah.
I have a feeling if that is the case, the sequels, if they're to still be considered canon, they would have mentioned that at least once. Like, hey, the First Order is back. Yeah, no, remember Thrawn? Yeah, just like him. They would take it more seriously. Because it feels like at this point, it's like when you think about it, if this is all to be considered like the sequels are canon, but this is also canon, it contradicts each other a little bit, because the Republic is not that dumb. As much as I love to bash on it, we have to remember the Republic is composed of people who are in charge of controlling the Republic, who controls most of the galaxy. And if there was a galaxy-wide war with remnants of the Empire, and then say 5 years later, they're like, hey, the Empire might be rising again, the New Republic wouldn't be like, no, there's no proof of that. It'd be like, oh, again? Like, we got to get rid of this now before it gets like how it was with Thrawn. And also with Abeloth coming in, where was she mentioned at all in the sequels? So if she is brought in, which I guarantee she will be, I feel like this is like a whole, like Dave Filoni trying to create his original sequel trilogy, like we saw with Thrawn's New Empire, all that stuff. Now, I could definitely very be wrong, because there's a lot of plot holes that if this were to happen, it would be like, well, the sequels confirmed this kind of, but also didn't. So me personally, though, that's where I think this is all heading.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't think they're ever going to retcon the sequels. They made so much money off of them, and they seem to think they're going to make a lot more off of them. What I do think is they're going to expand on the story. Much like the original trilogy, if you watch the original trilogy, you don't know of characters like Ahsoka or Ezra or Captain Rex or any of the characters from the prequel trilogy and all those stories that came before. You don't know about Jyn Erso or Galen Erso or Cassian Andor, and you can just watch the original trilogy. The same can be said about the sequels. Like, there could be characters like Cassian Andor, Luthen Rael, who we now know are so important to creating the rebellion for the original trilogy, but we never knew about them. There could be those characters for the sequels. And with Thrawn rising to power and it not being mentioned, it honestly might mean that, well, first of all, we're still like 25 years out, but it might mean that Thrawn might be a failure. Like, not that he's going to lose very quickly, but he might gain some power and then lose it, and it's replaced almost immediately by the First Order. Because we see the Shadow Council meeting in Mando Season 3, and the remnants of the Empire are off doing all different things. All these different things. One's doing Project Necromancer, while one's doing Starkiller Base, while the other's doing waiting for Thrawn. So maybe Thrawn's the first attempt to come back, and it fails. And then the next one is bring back Palpatine, and that kind of fails, but it gives us Snoke. And then they bring in the First Order. So it might be that Thrawn is a couple years in the timeline, and he tries to regain power, and then he fails, and it's immediately scooped up by Snoke in the First Order. And that's why that's more of a prevalent thing in the sequels than Thrawn ever is, because you've definitely gotten away before with not mentioning characters and not mentioning events that happen in the original trilogy, in the prequel trilogy, and in other projects before. So I just don't see them ever retconning the sequels. That would be too much of a admittance of doing something very wrong.
Interesting. True. But like
My
for the holiday special.
my friend was saying something that they could, like, he said that they're not going to retcon it either, but he said that it's possible they might do something like the Snyder's cut for whatever he did. You know, like it's still the same, but it's just a different story or whatever.
Well, you got to think about this too. The sequel trilogy as a whole is about a year and a half. And obviously it's Palpatine, so it's a big deal. But when you look at, even like I just mentioned with the original trilogy, you have so many characters that don't appear. Characters like Ahsoka, Grogu, all the Rebels crew, and all the Andor characters, all the Mando characters, that Bo-Katan, all those stories are going on at the same time as the original trilogy, but that original trilogy is the characters we're focusing on. We could be getting more important and better characters like Grogu, Din Djarin, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Mandalorians, because there's not a single Mandalorian in the sequel trilogy. So what if over on Mandalore, there's an even better story going on at the same exact time as the sequel trilogy? And now it's like, pick your poison. Do you like the sequels? Well, we're going to make them better by giving you an explanation as to why Luke goes into hiding, more of an explanation as to how the First Order came to be, and explain Palpatine returning somewhat better. But if you don't like the sequel trilogy even still, well, you can get this other story that goes alongside the exact same year and a half at the exact same time.
Interesting. Okay. That would be really interesting to see.
Yeah. Like pick your poison. Actually, the perfect example of that right now is Rebels and Andor. Rebels and Andor take place at the exact same time. Rebels is a very unique animation style that not a lot of people like, and Andor is very dark and serious. So they're very two different projects, but they're taking place at the same time. They're both talking about how the rebellion came to be. So it's like, which one do you want? You can like both. You can like one. You can like neither, but you have the option.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And also, not to cut anything short, but all right, never mind. I completely forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
No, absolutely. No, yeah, we definitely probably should get out of here soon. Anyway, it's over here on the East Coast. It's like 9:30, and I'm
yeah. I don't want to keep
tired.
you guys up too late.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm here in California. It's only 6 for us.
Yeah,
so.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's 9:17 for us.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on.
Of course.
This has been an awesome birthday live stream for sure. So yeah. Before we go though, one of your commenters, 50 Thunderer, had a comment saying, "I got another what if idea. I want to hear it." So I don't know if he's still on, but if he is, we can quickly look at it.
Yeah.
Interested still. So, but until he does comment, thank you guys so much for hopping on. This has been really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely do this again next year for the next birthday.
Yeah.
These do happen every year.
And hopefully all of us grown to spots we never knew we could have.
Exactly.
Yes, 100%.
So,
yeah. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video or today's live stream. Thank you, a guy who loves Star Wars. Oh, what if R5D4 did not have a bad motivator? That would be interesting to see.
That'd be crazy.
yeah.
Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen, it works fine. What are you yapping about? We'll take him.
Uncle Owen, yes, this droid is a great motivator.
No, we don't need the R2 unit. We dump that away. We're good.
Wasn't it like in Legends that technically R2 told him to like break down something?
Yeah.
Yes, but I think it was also in Legends too. It was in a comic I read somewhere that R5 was like force sensitive.
Yeah, they're like the Force willed that.
Yeah, and I'm like, is that still canon? If it is, that opens up a huge can of like womp rats that I don't want to go into.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That would be a cool topic to discuss. But yeah, I don't want to keep you guys any later than it already has been. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I like to say, and with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you. Thank you all. See you next time.
All right, bye everyone.
And how do I end this? All right, there it is.